Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another edition of YouTube Take. I'm your host, Big Red 310, with my two guests at the moment.
Nightmareballa1.
And yours truly, Nytemare10,
Or Nightmare26 on Xbox 360.
or 10 on YouTube. Trying to make more videos, so go to Nytemare10 on YouTube.
My apologies for the last one being up late.
Real quick, kid.
What?
Hey, guess what? I'm gonna make a wrestling video, guys.
Woo!
I just made one too.
So did
Like
I.
it. I'm ready to watch this.
Is the video?
Kid, you know what about, right?
I'm thinking.
The Rock?
Ziggs?
I'm just kidding.
No, The Rock. Ziggs. The awards.
No,
Chikara.
no.
Wrestle Kingdom.
There you go.
Nice.
I would say something right now, but I'll wait till after the air.
I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. I just finished real quick. Then we'll get into football. I just finished Loki, David, and Ibushi. Oh my god. That's all I'm gonna say. But go ahead.
Anyways, it is.
You seen it yet, kid? Have you seen it yet?
No. It's on my to-do list.
Oh my god.
I still have to see.
I haven't seen it and have no plans to watch it actually.
I still have to see the King of Pro Wrestling show back in October.
Hold on. Why not? What's wrong with you, Phil?
You're gonna hate my reason. I don't want to say it. That's why I was gonna talk about it afterwards.
Oh man.
I just can't. I don't think I could unless I watched it on mute. I have to understand what's going on. Like as far as hearing it, hearing a language I don't know is just gonna throw me off.
Really, Phil?
It would. I'm just being honest. I mean.
Anyways,
All right, football.
Anyways.
We'll talk about that later.
Anyways, the upload being late was my fault. My computer could not. I spent several hours trying to edit that thing, and then YouTube won't accept my upload every single time I tried uploading it. My apologies. Won't happen again because I'm uploading this right after we record it. So to make sure that bullshit doesn't happen again. But anyways, it is conference championship week. Brought Ravens at Patriots. Falcons at 49ers at Falcons, coming off one of the better, more notable divisional round playoff weeks in recent memory. 4 very exciting games. We'll start with the first one and the biggest upset of the week.
Two exciting games.
Yeah, there was only 2.
Yeah.
No,
The other 2 games weren't disasters. No,
they were.
Oh, yeah, they were.
No, they were not.
The first half of the Texans Patriots, and I'll give you that, and that's about it.
All right, we'll talk about that, and I'll tell these ignorant fools when 3 of the 4 quarters of a Texans-Patriot game is contentious football, how that is not a disaster, but whatever. So, anyways, moving on. Y'all know the Patriots scored no points in the fourth quarter, right? Okay, but whatever.
Didn't need to.
All right, thank you. Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
And it was 17-13
at
halftime.
I know they dominated even though the score was close. Random shit was happening, keeping the score close. That's all. They dominated that shit. I'm sorry.
We'll talk later. But it was one of the more notable games. 2 tremendous games, in my opinion, better than I may be the minority on this one. In fact, I almost guarantee that I am in the minority on this one. But I thought both the Broncos game and the Falcons game were better than any game last year, and that's including that Saints-Niners game that everybody loves in the divisional round. I would
100% agree with you. I don't think it is.
I don't know, man. The catch 3, man. I don't know.
Yeah, but
that moment, it had a moment like that in it. I don't know.
The catch 3. What you talking about?
Oh, but Broncos, Ravens, and Seahawks, Falcons had 10,000 moments throughout both games.
Yeah. But that's people came up with the catch. Everybody knows the catch. Dwight Clark, Joe Montana.
Yes.
And people associated that with that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with that kid.
What game? I didn't hear what you said. What game are you talking?
Go ahead, kid.
My thing with the catch 3 last year was, the catch wasn't a big deal. The way he scored was a big deal. But he caught a pass, dude. It's not like Dwight Clark who had to leap in the fucking air, barely get both feet in bounds. That's a catch. What Vernon did was
But for people to even go that far, that says a lot.
Well, people are idiots, but never mind.
That's true.
All right, let's start off with the big game of the week, the biggest upset of the week, possibly the biggest upset of the year. Ravens were 10-point underdogs in football, in the NFL. Ravens were 10-point underdogs against the heavily favored Broncos to win the Super Bowl. Broncos ended up losing in double overtime after a Peyton Manning cross-the-body interception to make it 38-35. A lot of controversial moments, including Joe Flacco scoring a 70-yard touchdown with less than 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter to tie the game, which was absolutely ridiculous. But Markeem, what went wrong here? Who's to blame? What are your thoughts of both teams coming out of it?
I honestly think since I've been alive, because I loved that game last year, that game we were just talking about. I loved that game last year. I think it's one of the 10 best games I've ever seen in my life, that game last year.
Niners Giants?
Yeah. No, Niners and Saints.
Oh, Saints. Oh, yeah, that game. Right.
And I think this is like right there with it, like real shit. I love this game from start to finish. I thought both teams came out and played amazing. I mean, minus Champ Bailey, which I talked about in the last video. I wish the kid would have got it out. He's a solid corner, man. When he keeps stuff in front of him, he's still Champ Bailey. He just can't chase people like he used to. Like, you can kill him deep. You kill him deep all day. That's I don't get why most teams don't do that, especially when the way the Broncos play. They don't play a lot of sets with safety help. They play a lot of man-to-man defense. If you have somebody that's big and fast, you can just exploit. They ain't even got to be that talented. Just big and fast. And, they just be able to exploit it all day. That's what Torrey Smith did, because he ain't that talented. He's good, but he's not accurate. And he was killing them all game. The first half, honestly, Flacco missed 2 touchdown passes in the first half because Torrey Smith got free twice. But, I thought the game was amazing. I thought Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs played out of their mind. I thought that was Suggs' best game in like a season and a half. That dude was a monster. Ray Lewis was great too. Ed Reed didn't do much at all, if you noticed that. Like, I didn't hear his name not once.
No, I didn't either. No.
But I thought Peyton Manning played great too. I think the interception he threw at the end is being far overblown. He was at a point where things were starting to fall apart, and he just tried to make a play. I wouldn't necessarily call it a mistake. I would just call it him trying to make something happen. It is what it is. I think that play is getting like, well, that's just Peyton failing again in the playoffs. Like, whatever. Fuck y'all.
Yeah,
fuck all of y'all.
I heard that too.
Fuck all of y'all that said that. Seriously, that's ridiculous.
That's haterade, basically.
Exactly. That was him just trying to make some shit happen. Because John Fox put him in a bad position. And let me talk about that real quick.
Please go off on this fool.
Top 5 quarterback of all time. We all can agree on that. Peyton Manning, at least statistically, if nothing else. Top 5 of all time. Most efficient quarterback I think to ever play. Like in terms of just his numbers.
I think the smartest.
Most efficient to ever play. And you have 30 seconds left with 2 timeouts. Now, they've tied the game. I'm not going to get on Raheem more because everybody else has. I'm not going to do that because I feel bad for the dude. It was a missed assignment. It's the worst time to miss it. But, it is what it is. I don't want to do that because I felt bad for him after seeing the press conference. Like, it almost made me cry. I felt so horrible for him. But after that happened, you have to at least try and get into field goal range. It's not like you needed a touchdown. And you had 2 timeouts. You have to at least try. You're on, what was he on, like 20, 24, 25 or something like that?
20. Yeah.
Well, on the 20. Peyton gets 30 yards, or Peyton gets 40 yards. 40 yards. He's in field goal range. You thinking 30 seconds with 2 timeouts, Peyton Manning can't do that?
That sounds too easy.
Like, you know what I mean? 2 timeouts. Like, back in the day, niggas knew not to let him and Tom Brady get more than 30 seconds. More than 30 seconds in a timeout. Like, you knew. Like you would see teams legit need a touchdown to win and try and run some time off the clock. Like they would lose plays to make sure they won't get the ball in the game. A lot of teams used to do that.
Just for example, I don't remember the exact time because it's been a while and my memory's horrible, but in the Super Bowl 42, when the first loss to the Giants or the Patriots, like they had like 15 seconds left and people were still scared because they were lost.
No, they had 34. But yeah.
Oh, it's still, I didn't know it was that
people
much.
People were scared, but people were scared.
Right. People were like, I was watching the game with were like, oh crap, and they just like all the ones that just got excited sat back down. I'm like, so the same thing happened last year.
Remember the Super Bowl last year? Well, not last year.
Well, it happened last year too.
Well, last year, but that's what you're talking about, 2007, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you have to at least try, dude. Like, don't down the ball. Don't down like what's the worst that can happen? Peyton let's say Peyton throws an incompletion and another incompletion. and there's like 7 seconds left, and he has to just take a shot at the end zone. The worst that can happen, he throw a pick, and then you telling me with all those guys in the end zone, you don't trust your defense to tackle the guy. You know what I mean? So no matter what, unless you do something astronomically dumb, you guaranteed overtime. You know what I mean? You just have. Niggas know to hold the ball with 2 hands because the last thing you want is a fumble. If you don't know that in the NFL, you're just an idiot. You're just an idiot,
I don't. So I just sorry to interrupt, but I just don't understand the downside. Like, what's the problem in going? Like, what do you have to lose? Like, it's just it wasn't a risk-reward situation. It was like a reward-reward situation. I just don't understand why anyone could possibly conceive. And I heard his argument, and his argument was bullshit. If you guys heard his explanation.
I didn't hear it because
it's like a prize fight, and we were rocked by that punch, and we just needed to calm things down and regroup and get ready for the next round.
Yeah, John Fox, do you not realize if you don't get the ball at overtime, it could be over? Like, I want to strangle this fool. Like, does he not okay? If they both get possessions, which I know if there's a field goal made, they get another possession, but still,
but it's
not guaranteed. Yeah, they score a touchdown, it's over, and you look like a complete fool. Luckily, it didn't do that, but you still look like a fool. I just don't understand why John Fox thought that was one thing. I wish Peyton Manning would have looked at him and you're an idiot and just walked back on the field.
And I kind of blame Peyton for that, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, you're Peyton Manning. Who's gonna go first, John Fox or you? I think John Fox, nigga. John Elway took the backlash of every TiVo fan to get Peyton Manning.
And I think
if it came down to it, who you think John Elway gonna choose?
Peyton Manning. And the thing is, I think if Peyton Manning tells that to John Fox and says, "No, we're gonna go for it here," John Fox is just like, "Yeah, you're right."
John Fox is not gonna fight him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, he's Peyton Manning. Peyton, you knew better. You knew better. I don't mean to say it like that, but I think I don't blame him because it's not really his fault. But you know better than that, Peyton. You had to have known this is stupid when he took that knee. I bet he was thinking that as he hiked the ball. This is stupid. Look at the clock. But I don't get it. But I will say another thing. You have to at least go for it because obviously, if you don't know, football is a game of emotion. I played it for 3 years myself. There was a game. I'm gonna give y'all a good example. There was a game I think it was my sophomore year. I didn't play my senior year because my grades were terrible. But my sophomore year, there was a game we were down by 35 points coming into the fourth quarter. We scored 35 in the fourth quarter and tied the game, took it into overtime. Now here's the thing. 2A football in South Carolina has the old NFL rules. That means whoever scores first wins the game.
Right.
They got the ball first, and they didn't gain a yard. Then we got the ball, scored on the first play. Scored a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, it's a game of emotion.
It is.
We were drained in that game. And not to give myself a whole lot of credit, but I'm about to.
You were the starting quarterback that threw the game-winning touchdown.
No, God, no. Actually, it was a run. Our quarterback sucked, but he was an athlete, but he couldn't really throw. He was like Mike Vick. No, but the first I think the play and a lot of people that played with me, they say the same thing. The play that started that whole that whole barrage was my sack that forced the fumble. Not trying to, and that's not even me. That's not even me bragging, but that's just the truth. I forced the fumble. Friend of mine played right next to me. He picked it up, and he took it all the way down to the 5, and that was the catalyst. At that point, we were just rolling. Nothing was stopping us. After that happened, it was 3 and out, and we scored on each possession. It's a game of emotion, man. And at that point, the Ravens were riding high. They were riding high, man. And if you would have waited till overtime, what happened is what was going to happen. You have to try. You have to try, John Fox. But, yeah, in conclusion, Champ Bailey is not the same corner anymore. John Fox is too conservative for his own good. And Peyton Manning is getting too much blame. Now, y'all go ahead.
I mean, you did pretty good at what you were saying. I mean, that's the main thing I want to say. 2 things I want to point out. That, like you said, the knee. I think that was, I don't understand it. If you got Tim Tebow, I totally understand it. But you don't have Tim Tebow. You have Peyton Manning. huge difference there, and you have
Actually,
to.
hold on.
Oh, we gotta
Hold
get. Hold on, we gotta get to that. Let's save it.
Phil, please, Phil. I gotta talk about this real quick. You can go ahead, Phil. These motherfuckers saying that Tim Tebow had a better season than Peyton Manning are retarded. Now, let's take into account Peyton Manning didn't have to back into the playoffs. Peyton Manning, even though, to be fair, Tim Tebow, be fair for a second. To be fair, Tim Tebow took over 1-14, so it was already 4 games in the hole. But let's be honest for a second. Tim Tebow, after that 7-game win streak, lost his last 3. You know what I mean? They backed into the playoffs. Barely won a wild card game against a team, you know, and I'm not making any excuses because he did win a playoff game, but the Steelers were banged up. Everybody knows that. Even the smart Tebow fans didn't even know that. The Steelers were hurt across the board. Bill Roethlisberger wasn't even moving in the pocket. Polamalu shouldn't even been out there, to be honest with you. You know, Ryan Clark can't even play. You know what I mean? In Mile High, you know what I mean? It was just, and Ike Taylor was playing like Champ Bailey this past weekend. So, you know, it was like whatever. You know what I mean? Everything was set. But, you know, anyway. And he moves on to the same round Peyton Manning just lost in and got destroyed by the Patriots. Absolutely demolished. Meanwhile, Peyton Manning didn't even have to play this wild card game that Tim Tebow barely won. And in the round that Tim Tebow lost in, he had one of the greatest playoff games in NFL history. I don't see the logic. Like, I don't. Well, he won a playoff game. In a round that Peyton Manning didn't even have to play. Like, he didn't even have to play in that round.
And I totally agree with Markeem saying the only thing I would say that I would agree with if they said this, and that's in the end it still was a failure. The season was a failure. I mean that I'll say that. You know, I agree with. In the end, it's the same. In the end, you can't compare the two, but in the end, the same. You got the same result.
I wouldn't say really failure. Did. I wouldn't say failure. I would say disappointment. Disappointment.
Oh, well, yeah, disappointment. Okay, failures are a little bit strong. I agree with what Big Guy said.
Like the Eagles were a failure.
They were clearly better than they were last year, and that was the main goal. Well, the main goal was the Super Bowl, but they were clearly a better team. You know what I mean? Like, and people even tried to argue they were better with Tebow. Like, I don't understand, but
that's not true. You guys, everybody else listening to this, Big Rat and Markeem all know this. I'm a huge Tebow fan, and that's just flat out ridiculous what Markeem just said. That's
like, you know, yeah, it was a big disappointment. You know, I'm not gonna act like it wasn't, but to say Tim Tebow had a better season makes no sense. Zero, none.
And to say that, like, I mean, they lost, but you know they're going to be right up there at the top again. I mean, you know. Or to a Tebow, you had, you know.
Think about it. When Tim Tebow, if he would have started the season following, there are questions. Like, you really think if he would have started 16 games next year, I'm not so sure what happened the year he started would happen again. I'm not so sure.
But that would be questions, is what you're saying. There's not going to be any questions that Peyton Manning's going to win at least 10. You know.
Yeah, you know what you're getting with Peyton. You know, come on, man, come on. So Peter Tebow. Am I the only person in Denver that feels good right now? How about you go somewhere and pray? How about you do that and just shut up? You know, go be a choir boy like you are. You and your brother. You know what I mean? Come on, just be quiet. Get off social media. The only Twitter you need is the Lord. Now get away from Twitter. Just go. I don't mean to say it like that, Phil, but it's true.
Right. I know. I'm just saying. Don't take it too far.
He don't say nothing the entire time Tim Tebow has been going all this shit with the Jets, and this happens, and here comes Peter Tebow running his mouth on Twitter. Get your ass out of here, for real. Come on.
I'd have slapped him if I was his brother as well.
Think about it. He didn't say nothing about Rex Ryan and none of that shit. That happens though. Am I the only person that feels? Shut up. Like Stephen A. Smith said. What are you implying? That your brother is better than Peyton Manning? Your brother can't sniff Peyton Manning. You better go on somewhere. I felt just like that.
Yeah, I'd be more. I mean, I understand as far as, like, you know, you're mad because, you know, your team did. Yeah, but they went after Peyton. Like, you know, yeah.
Like the Broncos treated Tim Tebow with so much respect. Everybody's like they kicked him out the door. No, they did not. They asked him, where do you want to go? We're already replacing you with Peyton Manning. There are 2 teams that have a little bit of interest in you. Where would you like to play?
And he picked the wrong one.
And then he told them the Jets. Y'all saw that press conference that somebody, you know, that was drafted at the. I've never seen a shit like that in my life. Somebody that they traded for that they said was going to be a backup quarterback Rex Ryan came out and said this shit.
He's gonna get a conference.
Conference. Oh, yo, but that's some of my Tebow rage. But I ain't gonna get into that. But they treated him about as hospitable as you can treat anybody. And I mean, Peter Tebow had the gall to tweet that shit. Fuck that dude. Fuck that dude. Now his other brother's a hustler, but he's real about that shit. You know what I mean? He was pimping Tebow. Tebow was at Florida. You know what I mean? At least he up front about his. That tweet from Peter Tebow that hurt me. That hurt me.
Anyways, I pretty much agree with both of you. I actually just got my wisdom teeth removed today, so my cheeks are bothering me a little bit. So if I kind of like sit to myself and kind of hold back judgment, that's probably why.
Oh, hold on. I didn't even let Phil talk. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, just another thing I wanted to bring up. All right, so we've talked about the knee situation and what I thought about that. What Marquine, we both pretty much agree on that. We 100% agree. But the other thing that I thought was questionable is, and I point to the Houston Cincinnati game for evidence. Why I don't know. I think it was 3rd and 7. I want to say, but this is right before they made that crazy pass and to Flacco to Torrey Smith for the touchdown. You just literally run. They just literally ran the ball 3 straight times and punted it. It's third down. It's third. I think it was 3rd and 7, which is I understand it's 3rd and 7. You have Peyton Manning.
A lot of people ain't talking about that. Yeah,
you have Peyton Manning. You don't try to throw.
Yeah. Try and get that first.
Matt Schaub did it, and I mean I'm not.
Matt Schaub had Arian Foster. Peyton Manning had his 3rd string running back.
Right.
Yeah, but he was playing well though. Like he was playing well though, kid.
I still don't. I think that was if that made you look like basically you're saying, well, we'll let the Texans do it, but we're not going to try for the. I mean, if you don't get it, worst case scenario, they get an extra 40 seconds, but this is what you can do. Peyton Manning doesn't see anybody open, just take a sack. It doesn't hurt anything, right? I know that sounds crazy, but if Peyton Manning doesn't see what he likes, take a sack. Don't throw it away. Just take a sack.
That's one of them times where it's okay to take a sack
because it doesn't do anything. You still burn the clock from the run that you were going to do, and then Peyton didn't see anything he liked, so instead of throwing it away, he just gets down and someone gets a free sack. I couldn't believe that. And then I'm like, okay, but I see people's argument with okay, fine, play conservative at that point, whatever. But I'm gonna pull out during the game. I was screaming at the TV, and I'm not pulling. I wasn't pulling for the Broncos anyway, but. Just screaming at the TV saying, "You play to win the game." Pulling a Herman Edwards, I just kept saying it. I'm like, "What are you doing, Broncos?" And it was just hilarious to me to see them score or the Ravens score on the next play, and I'm like, "Okay, now 30 seconds left, 2 timeouts. John Fox ain't this stupid," and apparently he was. And then I don't know if you heard the defensive coordinator got fired.
Defensive
backs coach. Which is to me is laughable because he could do anything about it. I'm sure he told them don't let the guys get behind. Go ahead and let the guys behind you. I'm sure he told them that. Yeah, no, he told them what to do. They just didn't execute. I don't understand that. I think that was wrong. But
I think that was a huge miscue at the worst possible time.
Right. It was a player thing. It wasn't a call. They didn't. It's not like the D-backs. That's an easy call. Don't let the guys get behind you. So, but as far as that game,
and then Champ Bailey old. I keep saying that, but he is. He's old. They can't expect him to be what he used to be.
Why they didn't get him help? I don't know why they didn't get him help during that game or switch him off of Torrey Smith. I don't.
It wouldn't have mattered. Anquan Bolden would have shredded him then.
Yeah, but not with speed. Anquan Bolden doesn't have the speed that Smith has. Anquan Bolden would have probably caught over him, but wouldn't have left him.
He's still faster than Champ.
But I think Champ could have stayed with Bolden. I think
better. He could have stayed with Bolden better. He could have stayed with Bolden better than he did with Torrey Smith. And that much is for damn sure true.
That's true, man.
As far as my thoughts, I kind of agree with both of you. I don't really have anything different to say. I feel bad for really a lot of people on the Broncos team. Not just Moore, not just Peyton, but it's just everyone legit. As much crap as we want to give John Fox, as much heat as some people are giving Peyton Manning, I really do think this isn't as much. Now, don't get me wrong. The Broncos should have won this game. But, they still played a great game. They lost to a team that played a better game.
Yep.
And I think people are really just kind of getting too much of the Broncos' case. This wasn't a typical game like, some of those Patriots games where Peyton Manning had like 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. This wasn't like that. They played great. This
is definitely not his fault.
The other team played better. Could they have done things differently to win? Yes. But does that mean they should be condemned for choking the game? Dude, they played a great game. They just lost to a team that maybe they're better than.
The Ravens are just playing better than everyone else right now at this moment.
And that's all it is. And I think people are kind of overblowing it a little bit. But
one thing I was going to say, I'll go ahead and say it now before I forget. I'm really interested to see if the Broncos team is everybody's favorite preseason, because everybody got on the Patriots for being preseason favorites after they lost.
No. Let me say this. I think I told this to Markeem. Had the Broncos won the Super Bowl this year, I think that tide would have finally changed. I think we would be seeing the Broncos as the automatic preset favorites every season before now. I'm only saying now it's a problem because more teams have won in the past 8 years than the fucking Patriots. And more teams have been more teams. The same amount of teams have been contenders as many times, and 1 or 2 more teams have been to just as many Super Bowls. So I don't buy that bullshit that the Patriots, the Colts have been to 2 Super Bowls since the Patriots won one.
Yeah, but
one.
The
Steelers
have
been to 3 and won 2 of the 3. Yes, and I know they have Brady, they have Belichick. I do not think they will be the preset favorites. I think the Patriots still would be. And I will still think that's wrong because the Patriots have held this title for 8 years. Phil,
hold on. You don't know if it's gonna be wrong or not, because what if they win the whole thing?
I'm saying no matter what, I'm saying it doesn't matter the results of whatever these weekend's games. In fact, I would say there's a good chance. I mean, it's warranted because Ray Lewis is leaving.
Are you saying no matter what happens,
yes,
the Patriots still be the preseason?
I
agree with that. Definitely.
Phil, the year after Peyton won, the Patriots were the favorites. And yes, that was the 18-1 year. I'll give that a pass. The year after Rodgers won, the Patriots were still, again, the fucking favorites for the AFC. Every year, no matter what. No matter what happens the previous year, they can lose to fucking Mark Sanchez. They can lose to fucking the Ravens at home in the first round. The result of the Patriots is irrelevant. As long as Brady's the quarterback, they're the AFC favorites. And that's what I think is bullshit.
I think they belong in the conversation.
Go ahead.
I think that they. I mean, yeah.
But it's not just a conversation. It's across the board.
Yeah, but what are you talking? ESPN always going to have them as favorites. But we're talking what are you talking as far as the overall favorite? Because the overall favorite's never the Patriots, in my opinion.
You sure about that? Phil, you sure about it?
I'm pretty sure.
You gotta ask around more, Phil. Yeah. let me explain it.
I can tell you right now, if you asked on Twitter, no one's saying after this season, no one's saying the Patriots unless they win it all, of course.
Phil, let me explain this to you. Okay, see, it's hard to in a sense, it's not even being funny. It's being don't laugh, kid, when I say this. Okay, talking to a Patriot fan about the Patriots is all I'm and this is not an insult, Phil. This is actually a compliment. It's like talking to a Yankee fan about the Yankees because they don't see it because they are a part of the fandom. You know what I mean? That's not even a diss.
And that's probably. I understand what you're saying.
It's just like you guys are great, and y'all always are great. It's just people go overboard with the greatness claims. You know what I mean? They have for the past 10 years now, they have been consistently one of the top 10s in the AFC. And that should be commended by, anyone. I mean, period. That's a big deal, man. I think since the Niners back in the 80s, no team has ever been for 10 years considered, one of the best in the conference. That should be commended. But just for that reason alone, it seems like if you look around, not even just ESPN, but just analysts across the board. I mean, you look at I wouldn't say majority, because it's like the Yankees, where the Patriots are so hated and so loved that you got half of the fan base that even when they are the favorites, people will find reasons, like the kid, to try and dissect why they aren't. And then you got the fans that when they aren't the favorites, they still be like, oh, the Patriots are the best team because they did this, and this for so many years. 8
years ago. 8 fucking years ago.
Yeah, shut up, I'm not done. Even though coming into the season, you can see a glaring amount of problems. Yeah, it offended it offended me. Like, I'm gonna be real with you, Phil. I know they went to the Super Bowl last year, but it offended me that the Patriots were the prohibited favorites coming into this season. We all saw how bad that defense was last year. That offended me. Like that, like real shit. I got almost as mad as the kid. Like that truth. Like Phil, even you can admit last year that defense was one of the worst in the history of the NFL.
But it got him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, yes. Notice that on this year's Pro Bowl roster, the starting 3 quarterbacks, 2 of them were injured last year. Go fuck yourself.
What?
yeah, Peyton Manning and
Matt Schaub.
Right.
But yeah, like and we knew both of them were gonna be back this year. And yet still the prohibited favorites for the Patriots, even though we saw how bad it it bothered me. Phil, it didn't bother me as much as the kid because I don't care enough, But he has a vested hating interest in them. You know what I mean? But it really did bother me though, I won't lie.
I mean, the thing that I'm saying is that I understand what Big Rat's saying, that they haven't, and that's right, they haven't won in 8 plus years.
8 years. No, it's 8 years.
It's 8 years. Okay, so they haven't won in 8 years. But here's the thing: who right now, who are the teams before this season? Who could you trust? Like, did you had seen stuff before? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see, I'm trying to look in an unbiased look, but I'm looking at You saw what the Patriots did. Yes, they had their problems on defense, but they went to the Super Bowl. None of the other teams made it to the Super Bowl last year. So, and then you have new qualities where Peyton Manning's the Broncos, which have your question. If you have your questions or you think they'll be good, but you can't just throw all your. I mean, I don't think that's so crazy.
Matt Schaub's Texans, who were 10-3 last year, the Ravens, who everyone thought beat the Patriots in the AFC title game last year. Like that's
the thing, Big Rat. They didn't. You can say they should have done it all they want. All I'm saying, Big Rat, is turn the table there. No, hold on. Turn the tables there, and the Patriots miss a field goal. No one says that crap. You know it for a fact. No one says that.
Let me give you an example of the kids' life.
No one's okay. Everyone is okay with the Ravens being the number 1 favorites. I guarantee you that.
Remember. Well, this week they ain't. But remember last year when LSU beat Alabama, and in the national championship game, Alabama was a 6-point favorite. You remember that?
Right.
That's because most people thought Alabama outplayed LSU. They lost, but most people thought they did. Yeah, I mean, that's why they were the favorites, and everybody was picking them. And you saw what happened.
I understand that, but what I'm saying at the same time
it's a similar type deal with the Ravens last year. Most people thought the Ravens outplayed the Patriots. Just some random shit happened, and then they ended up winning the game.
Interception.
I'm not discrediting it. I'm just saying it's similar to that.
Well, right. I know, and I understand what you're saying. That's fine, but I'm saying okay, yeah, I don't have a problem with having the Ravens as the favorites, but at the same time, I'm saying 2 things. One, saying the Patriots are the favorites is not that far off. I don't think that's, if you don't believe that, if anything, they're second or third. So it's not that. Let me finish. Fine. And then the second thing is if you switch that thing around, no one's complaining that the Ravens are their favorite. That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing I've said in a couple podcasts. It's and maybe it might be because I'm a fan of them, but the Patriots are in that situation and they dominate a team and lose. No one talks about. No one would be saying this.
Listen, son. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on because I'm tired of talking about this. If you don't like it, suck it. It's not that
you stole my line.
It's not that the Patriots are one of the favorites, Phil. It's that they are across the board the preseason favorites to win, and that's bullshit. They have not earned that. Brady and Belichick being enough has not been the case.
And I won't say they haven't earned it. I'll just say this. It's because a lot of the time, take away ESPN. Let's just talk about whatever. You look at analysts or whoever in general. The first thing they say is Brady and Belichick, which is cool. That's continuity. That's something that the NFL does not have right now.
Trust in is what the point is earlier. Right?
I get that, but even when the team has a slew of other problems outside from Brady and Belichick, for those 2 reasons alone, people they're gonna be in the Super Bowl, and that's not cool. That's not right. That's not right. It's like the Lakers and Kobe Bryant. Like this year, the Lakers were the sexy pick because they got this roster, they're experimenting, but the Mamba's there. You know what I mean? And no, you see I'm not saying the Patriots are the same because the Patriots have improved on areas that they needed to last year.
The Patriots have gotten there with just those two things before.
Had they won? Had they ever won?
Have they won? No, but the Super Bowl favorites are people to go to. It's not
they
just
also won in a year. They won in a year filled with fucking injuries. Roethlisberger, Manning, Schaub. God damn it! I hate this kid. I hate this kid.
Look at my point, though.
You're just
Kobe Bryant is there, and everybody was picking them because of Kobe, and they had a slew of problems. Me and Chase talked about it. Y'all know Chase, that C-Dude 9590. We talked about it a lot. We was like, they have like the other problems on that team was that they had no one that could defend. They're old, and they're not, and they didn't have much of a bench. And they look old. They're one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and they get the least amount of bench production a game. You know what I mean? It's like it's the same thing with the Patriots. Just because of Belichick and Brady, people ignore the fact that last season coming in this season is that they had legit one of the worst defensive teams in NFL history. You know what I mean? It's like people didn't even that didn't even come up. That's my problem. That didn't come up once.
And here's
ridiculous.
And here's all right, this is what I'll say this, just kind of maybe clarify what I've been saying. If say the Patriots lose the Ravens this weekend, then next year they're favorites, and that clearly is ridiculous. That's what my point. Like, all right, that's clearly ridiculous. But last year, that's my point. Last year, yeah, but that's my point. Last year they went to the AFC, they went to the Super Bowl. They lost, yes, but they went to the Super Bowl. So to say that they're favorites is not so crazy.
I'm not saying
it's
crazy.
On the season before.
I don't like Phil. I don't mind that they're favorites. It's just people acting like, this season's technicality. They're gonna be in the Super Bowl. That's how people act.
And Phil,
I guess I just don't see it. I'll be straight up. I guess I just don't see it because I don't see people.
Stop! Everybody, stop! No, Phil, no. I'm gonna finish. No.
Like what I'm saying, Phil, I don't even expect you to see it because you're a part of the fandom, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? You're not like Trademark, who I'm about to bury again, that complains when something goes wrong with his team, and now all of a sudden they suck. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is that you're part of the fandom, so you don't really see what happens. Me and the kid are not. So we, so we see it.
Count. I'll take your point.
Phil, the reason your argument pissed the hell out of me is because it's not just last year. It's been 8 fucking years of this. The Patriots could have lost to the Ravens in the divisional round, and it would have been the same fucking thing. Because that's how it was the year before, and the year before, and the year before, and the year before. You bring up the Super Bowl to validate this one time, but it's been like this for 8.
No, I'm just talking about
years.
Last year, big guy. So calm down.
Fucking years.
Like it's like that all the time. That's why it's so frustrating. Phil. That's
fine. No, that's fine. I mean, it's kind of stupid to talk about, to be honest. But I'm not denying that the Patriots are always up there, but
it's not that they're up there, Phil. It's that people act like
I just don't. Like I said, I'm just gonna say right this. I obviously do not see it because I don't see the consistency every year being the Patriots.
All right, then we're done. Then we're moving on. If you don't see it, then we can't continue this. We're moving on.
You're right.
The second game.
And I respect that too.
Please,
because he's a kid. He's a part of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Let's
move on to the Niners-Packers. Markeem, the Niners that you didn't trust, that on your record, I will repeat, on your record, your exact words were, the Packers will blow out the Niners. How'd that work?
Yes. It was the other way around because the Packers have an all-time bad defense. Anybody that says they are not, like Ryan, yes, Ryan, I'm calling you out. How in God's name did he even fix his hands to tweet that that the Patriots have a worse defense than that? Did he not see? Like, Colin Kaepernick is an explosive player. He is a dynamite player. You know what I mean? They made him look like legit, like Cam Newton at Auburn, explosive. You know what I mean? They made him look like Tim Tebow at Florida. You know what I mean? Like you're an NFL defense, and dig this, y'all. The Packers gave up before they had one play at the end of the game for a loss. And before, it was I think it was 2 kneel downs or some shit like that. But before that, though, the Packers had gave up 581 yards, which is the most ever. Hold on, Phil. That's the most ever given up by. That's the most ever yards the Niners have ever had in a playoff game. Think about all the Niners teams from the past: the Montana to Rice, the Young to Rice, the Garcia to Owens. Think about that. That's the most yards that they've ever had in a playoff game. That tells you right there, it's not as bad as the Colts, but Aaron Rodgers is almost in an Andrew Luck type situation. Real shit. Because they have a better receiving core. That much is obvious. They have one of the best in the league, even though they kept getting hurt this year. Like he never had all his guys on the field. I mean, Donald Driver didn't play a game, did he? He didn't play a game.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So you know, but real shit. He has no offensive line. His defense is horrible. The rush defense is horrible. I don't care how many screw the fact they got Charles Woodson and Clay Matthews. I mean, screw that. They right.
Names don't mean nothing. They can't play together.
They don't play well together. I mean, individually they may do well. Like Clay Matthews had a Pro Bowl season and shit. Individually they do well. As a defense, they're terrible. I mean, he has no defense. He got sacked 50 plus times this year. And like Stephen A. Smith said, if he couldn't move, it would have been 70 times this year. That's how bad. That's how quick he has to throw the ball. Even without Justin Smith. And Justin Smith played okay. He wasn't that great. You can tell he was hurting. Every time he bent down to get set, you could see him grimace. You know what I mean? And even without him, Aaron Rodgers got sacked 3 times. he got hit 12. He got hit 12 times. Even like, you know, it's honestly a situation when Mike McCarthy says, "Hey, Aaron, you go out there and you make something happen every single play." You know what I mean? And you're not gonna win like that. They need to get him help. And I know people are like, "Well, how can you say that?" Well, you know, they had a really good record this year. It's to be, and this is not even me bigging him up, but I'm about to. It's because of him. People do not realize how, like when I keep saying he's the best in the game, shit like this, because he legit. He has no time to throw, no running game, no defense. A great coach. I call him a great coach. But no running game, no defense. Injured receiving core, no offensive line,
no running game.
And he plays in cold weather, which I'm not gonna make the biggest deal about that, but legit, most quarterbacks struggle in cold weather. I mean, that's just real. Peyton Manning, even at home, struggles. You know what I mean? Even in Denver, so most quarterbacks struggle in cold weather. He had all this shit against them, yet they still made it to the divisional round. Can you imagine how much better they'd be if they had an offensive line? Can you imagine? Like just block for the man, block for him, and tackle. The performance on defense by the Packers legit was one of the worst I've ever seen. Did y'all see that long run Colin Kaepernick had? Like
yes.
A 50 run?
That was insane.
What was going on? What were they doing that play?
They looked clueless.
He didn't even get touched. Like, they were just watching him run. Michael Crabtree looked like Randy Moss. It like they switched places. Like Randy Moss. It was crazy. Vernon Davis, who had been in a slump since they put in Kaepernick, he had a pretty good day. It seemed like they was able to do whatever they wanted. And I'm 500 and like, yo. The Niners look great. But do I think it's because they look great? And don't get me wrong. Even with me saying all this about the Packers, somehow they still had, 35 points? Wasn't it 35?
31.
35.
31.
35. No, 31. 31. Well,
yeah, 31. Somehow they still had 30-plus points. That further proves my point. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, they need to get this dude help. They need to get him help, or this will happen year after year after year. The Super Bowl year, they had everything that I just mentioned all come together at once. They were blocking for Aaron. They had a decent running game.
The running game started picking up in the playoffs.
Yeah, it started picking up in the playoffs. The defense were killing people at that point. You know what I mean? And then they were making people, and then they were stingy, and they were making people pay off those turnovers. Aaron Rodgers don't have any of that now, so it's kind of like him versus the world. And they need to get this dude help. And that's all I'm going to say, because it pissed me off. That game pissed me off so bad. Every time he got hit, I got mad. I picked up something and I threw it, because it got on my damn nerves. I'm like, y'all need to help him. He needs help. He needs help. He needs help with Bill Belichick. Something. Yeah. God damn. Look. You ever notice, like Mike McCarthy, that's why I call him a great coach, not an elite coach. Because if you ever notice, whenever Brady's getting hit, what does Belichick do? He adjusts. He like more like the more
quick
you
passes
see,
and
yeah, you know what I mean. You see a lot of screen passes, a lot of underneath routes and shit like that, because he kind of understands what's going on. He was like, look, they're getting in on us. You know what I mean? We just gonna have you take 3 steps and then just dump it off. You know what I mean? But Aaron Rodgers is like, hey, you go out there and you just make something happen. Like, no, it's not gonna work like that. That's what got Andy Reid fired, fool. You go like think about it this way. It's remarkable to me that Aaron Rodgers made it through, that he stays as healthy as he does as much as he gets hit. You know what I mean? Think about that. Like fucking Michael Vick, you know, his whole career is just over now. Well, we don't know what's happening now. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But his whole career is like up in the air. You know what I mean? Because he gets hit so much. This will happen to Aaron Rodgers if something doesn't change. And it's scary because that's my favorite player in football and my second favorite in sports. And it gets on my nerves. Whatever, I'm done.
First off, who's your favorite in sports?
Darren Williams.
All right. Phil, your turn.
I don't know if I can follow that. But, yeah, there's really not much to say about the game. I didn't see it going the way it did. But I think maybe I'm like many of people that underestimated that offensive line that can't block for nothing. And overestimated the defense, which I knew the defense was bad, but I figured like Clay Matthews would be more of a factor, and B.J. Raji just kind of dropped off. It's just I don't know I'm not saying he sucks now, but
actually though on Saturday he did play really well. He was the only one I can say that for though. The rest of them fools were terrible.
Right. And it's just like I mean 49ers just were clearly the better team that night. And I don't know if you noticed, one thing I wanted to say is looks like they're playing. I mean, he doesn't. Not a lot of balls went his way, but Randy Moss is in there a lot more than he was in the regular season. So look out for that.
You know what that means.
That's a bad man.
That's my favorite athlete of all time. So you know.
Yeah. So look out for that in the future. But yeah, I mean, as far as the Packers, get them some help.
Yeah, kid. Even more than Barry Sanders. Before you ask.
All right.
Go ahead, Phil. I know you weren't done. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
You done?
I don't have a lot to say because I've only seen the second half and I saw the highlights. This was the only game I couldn't see. I'm gonna watch that first half because I want to see some of those Kaepernick plays. Probably right after we finish this. But I mean, you know, I think we can all agree that in Harbaugh we trust. In Harbaugh we never doubt. Because, I mean, I said from the start that this was the right move. But, you know, there were those people that said, hey, look, man, Kaepernick's criticism coming out of the college was he wasn't very accurate. And you have Alex Smith, who's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL right now. At least. So, because of that, automatically, that means that...
Trademark dummy. Hey, did y'all see on Twitter?
Yeah,
he was like, I can see now. Everyone was right and I was wrong. I'm like, yeah, you're damn right. You're damn right you was wrong.
But Kaepernick, I think Tony Kornheiser said this on PTI. He's like, you know, Kaepernick after that game looked like he was the best player in all of football. And I know he was playing against a terrible defense. Don't get me wrong, but beating any record that Montana or Young set yards wise in the playoffs is still impressive, son. And legitimately, he does right now look like the best player in football after that game. And he looked absolutely incredible from what I got to see of him. And it really just shows, man, that, you know, this kid is special. I think that's what everyone realizes. It's not just that, I mean, it's not just that he's really talented at his job, but there's something about him. To see him throw that pick six, for example, this was all right after a pick six, and immediately just drive down the field and start putting up points and putting up the most points the Niners have put up all season.
Did you hear what? Just to interrupt real quick. Did you hear what Harbaugh said to him when he went to the sidelines? I saw an interview with Kaepernick.
There's plenty of football left.
Yeah, plenty of football left. So that was, you know, I think that gave
Harbaugh has, like, honestly, Andrew Luck wouldn't be the player he is today if it wasn't for Harbaugh, man. He is the best at grooming quarterbacks. Period.
So right now,
it's not even close. Look at Alex Smith. We didn't even think he could play, and then he made him, you know, good.
I really do think that we're going to be at, hopefully, what I hope is that if the Niners win the Super Bowl, then I get to hear next season, Harbaugh, Kaepernick, and that's enough. Even though they also have a lot of other animals honestly on both sides of the ball. I mean, it has a reputation for being a defensive team, but Frank Gore, Crabtree, Vernon Davis, you know, these guys are good players in their own right. So But nonetheless, the Niners look really, really impressive.
Crabtree is a good player now because he learned from second best to ever live. But
Who's the best to ever live?
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Oh, did y'all see them? Yo, I was watching SportsCenter, and they was talking about like receivers against the Falcons. Y'all know Jerry Rice destroyed them his whole career. Did y'all see them numbers?
No, I didn't see that.
He got like 2,000 career yards against just the Falcons. The second closest player is like Steve Smith with like 1,100. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's just crazy. That's nuts.
You think
he has like 27 touchdowns against them? Terrell Owens has like 13.
That's insane. But speaking of the Falcons, let's move on to the next game. Second best game of the weekend in most people's opinions. Mike Wilbon actually said this was his favorite game of the weekend. Falcons, Seahawks. Atlanta, obviously the story being they've never won a playoff game with the Matt Ryan, Mike Smith combo, and Russell Wilson, the rookie, the upstart with Pete Carroll, surprising everybody in the NFL. Phil, start us off here. What did this game tell you about both teams, and what'd you think?
This game, it told me the Atlanta Falcons apparently go to sleep when they get a lead. Yeah, but there's the main focus was in this game was Pete Carroll made some very questionable decisions in this game. The first one, two of them, both of them were in the first half. Well, I guess you could say that was the third one, but we'll get to that in a minute. The two in the first half where you could have took a field goal, went for it. I don't know I think they were down 17-0 at that point. I want to say it was 14 or something when he went for it on fourth down. I mean, take your points, man.
I think it was 7. I think it was 17.
Yeah, 17. Take your points, man, and move forward. And then if that debacle of time management at the end of the half was just, that's another not easy, but another, pretty much another 3 points. It's like it would have been 20-6, and we would have been talking about Matt Ryan having to go for a touchdown. So that was something I said. But I mean, they did get the lead back, so you can make an argument where they made up for that. But in the same sense, they ended up losing the game. So that's where you look at it like that. I mean, they win the game. You don't talk about those plays. That's just how football works. But I think I said the last podcast that went up late, but that I was saying that I just felt that this Atlanta team was different. I felt like this team was going to finally get over that hump, and once they got over the hump, they could be scary. And they got over the hump finally. Matt Bryant, people say Matt Bryant could bail you out, but man, bailed him out. But Matt Ryan did, he had some questionable play and overall in the game, but I mean the guy had 30 seconds and took it and got him in field goal range. So you have to give him some props where they're due, and I think he deserves it there. And then of course Matt Bryant kicked a bomb, and then there's something I want to say about that kick. I know Pete Carroll tried to act like he didn't call a timeout, and then he got busted on live TV when he clearly was asking for a timeout. But he calls for a timeout or whatever. Why do let me just get off on this a little bit. Why do kickers follow through after a timeout? Like they know they're not it just drives me. I understand
it's like more warm up.
Yeah,
right. I understand it's practice, but people. My biggest problem is they read too much into it. They're like, oh, he missed. He would have missed if they didn't call timeout. That's not necessarily true. Like people read into it way too much.
I agree with that.
People are like he missed. Pete Carroll's an idiot. No, he just followed through and he happened to miss. Like that, you can't guarantee that's how it's gonna go. When he goes to game time. Like he kicked it right. I'm not saying he
Like he might have known it was a timeout. He just wanted to test his leg real quick.
Right. Yeah, he was just gonna test his leg, and he's like, well, I can't kick it like that, or whatever, So it gives him an extra chance. I agree, and he could have missed, but you don't try to act like just because he missed because he after the timeout was already called. I mean, if it's running in late, the timeout's running in late, then okay, fine. Because there has been scenarios where that happens, where the timeouts doesn't get told till late, and the guys, the play's already almost over. So that's different. But to say that he kicked, that don't read into that too much. Is my saying about that. But man, I couldn't believe Atlanta just letting go of that lead the way they did. Got to question. I mean, we always question any team that does that. So you got to throw some questions out there. But I think I will say this: I think losing Abraham hurt them a lot. They couldn't get the pressure they were getting.
Oh yeah.
So that's a big thing I think in this game. I haven't looked up anything, but that's going to be huge. I think in the next game they need Abraham. I haven't looked to see if he's playing or not. Maybe I can look that up or something.
Will do.
So I mean, I think that's what it says about the Seahawks. Bright future is what it says. I mean, how do you not? You can't get worse next year. As far as I know, I don't think they. Obviously I don't know the contract situations and stuff like that, but I don't. I think they can only get better. I think the one thing they did wrong in this game, and it's kind of the obvious, but whatever. They didn't run. When the Falcons beat you, outrun you, there's a problem. So they should have ran more with Marshawn Lynch. I think they gave him I don't know how many carries. I want to say off the top of my head, not looking, 20-something carries, but should have got more than that. He's Marshawn Lynch, And Russell Wilson played. I mean, Russell Wilson flat out outplayed Matt Ryan for most of the game, so you can't say nothing about him. So I think that they just got to, Pete Carroll's got to know to calm down, take some points when you can get them, and then just get better wherever you can think about getting better. I guess that's all I got to say about that game.
Russell Wilson was phenomenal. Like real shit. Like the NFL is y'all game, but I'm an NFL fan. I mean, and when the playoffs roll around, I've been watching since I could, before I could even talk. And since I've been real shit, and this is a bold statement. But that is one of the flat out gutsiest performance I've ever seen from any player in the history of the NFL playoffs. This dude was in one of the most hostile environments. He's a rookie. He ain't never seen no shit like this before. And he had the greatest game in Seattle Seahawks history in the playoffs. I mean, legit, like, I was so impressed with him. Like how I go on and on about Andrew Luck and RG3. Y'all already, if you listen to this show, it's kind of sickening. But of both of them, of all three of them, all season, that is the most impressive performance that either of the three had all year. I was so impressed with Russell.
I definitely agree. The only two that come close is Andrew Luck against the Texans the last week of the season, or RG3 against the Cowboys the first time. That's about it.
Yeah, or maybe RG3 against the Saints, like week 1.
Fuck week 1. Week 1 doesn't count.
No, actually, I'm just saying,
Time out. Russell Wilson's is still the first, but I would say the second, and even you must agree this is close. Andrew Luck's comeback against the Packers.
Oh my God, nigga! You know how loud I was that fourth quarter? Of course, but yeah, man, Russell Wilson, man, he was, dude. This whole show could be me just praising him, but I won't do that. The Falcons, to be honest with you, yeah, they won. Props to them. They hadn't won a playoff game. Whatever. But I'm about to be very unkind, okay? How in the fuck? And this has been proven. They almost had the second worst playoff collapse of all time. Had it not been for Pete Carroll's mismanagement of time, they would have had the second worst playoff collapse of all time. That should give everyone no confidence coming into the game against the Niners. That shows me it's still the same Falcons. They still know how to fail. They know how to fail. I know they won. I know, which is why I said, that's what everyone's gonna say. Well, at least they won, which is true. At least they won. Yeah, they get that. But they, that's about 10%. I'm gonna give them 10% of praise because they did win the game. But they won in the worst way imaginable. Like if I was a Falcons fan, I almost wouldn't even brag about that win. Like even if y'all watch First Take, did y'all hear what T.I. said? He was on First Take on Monday.
I missed that.
We called in the First Take. He was like, "Yeah, we won, but we played the Niners, and I'm gonna go, but I don't know what's gonna happen." I thought that was his reaction was perfect. Like my sister's best friend, she's a big Falcons fan. I was like, "Ain't you happy yet? They finally won?" She said, "So what?" She's like, "No, I'm not. They play like shit the last half of the game. I ain't happy at all. Fuck that." She said they were terrible. They were awful. She said they were like, what she said? She was like, they were like Jacksonville Jaguars in the second half of the game. She said the defense fell apart. Everything fell apart. She was like, that's not nothing to be proud of. That shows me that they were dominating them the first half and they quit. They quit playing because they thought this game was in the bag.
That's exactly what they did, yeah.
And then Matt Ryan, yeah, he drove down the field, but I think a lot of people give him way too much credit for that last drive. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Pete Carroll, the entire last drive didn't, and this is another stupid thing he did. He didn't want to give up a big play, so he put three safeties deep and one corner on each side, and pretty much just gave him the entire middle of the field. And that's why he was able to make. And people act like he made 2 throws. That's why he was able to make 2 throws, because the entire middle of the field was pretty much empty. And don't get me wrong, it's still the playoffs. It's still high tension. But I think that it's kind of like the Flacco play. I think people are giving Flacco a little too much props for that long pass, and I think the same shit is going on with the Matt Ryan stuff. I didn't see Matty Ice. I saw an NFL quarterback making 2 plays that an NFL quarterback should make when the field is that wide open. I'm sorry. That's what I saw. I'm sorry.
That's true.
The Falcons proved almost nothing to me. Besides them winning, they proved almost nothing to me. That's all I got.
I want to say this. Do y'all remember when they had that big stat? They had it for a long time, that the Cowboys hadn't won a playoff game in 15 years. Y'all remember that? Like 15, 16.
It wasn't that quite that big.
It was
like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Whatever.
It was a long time.
It was still a long time. Yeah.
In 2009, they win their first playoff game. And everyone says they got over that hump. What has happened since then?
I didn't even think about that.
That's a good one, Big Red.
Because a lot of people have been making Romo-Ryan comparisons, and the only reason I didn't pick the Falcons to win, because I really, really was considering it, because so many people just were not giving them a chance. I've never seen a more disrespected number 1 seed. So many people were saying that the Seahawks were, without question, the favorites here, that I thought it was a trap game, and I thought the Falcons could have won. But I was just like, you know what? I got burned by Tony Romo. I'm not about to get burned by Matt Ryan again. And really, especially the way they won, not just with the defensive scheme, with Carroll giving up the 2 field goals, the icing the kicker bullshit, the giving up a 20-point lead, there was just nothing in this game that makes you think the Falcons are back and they're here to take names. Like the Ravens, the Patriots, and Niners, all 3 of them, after their games, they looked awesome. The Falcons, it was like, damn, you fools got away with it too. If it wasn't for you meddling Seahawks, like they were lucky to get out of that game. And I don't think this all of a sudden means the Falcons are going to be able to win in the postseason. I think that I guess a dead clock is right twice a day, right, Markeem? But I just go back to that Romo thing, because every year that was the story. For like 4 years, the first 4 years of Romo's career, he can't win a playoff game. Well, he did.
And he also got that playoff game against a divisional rival, which he plays all the time, too.
Yeah, so. And now what? What does it matter? Congrats, he won a fucking playoff game. It's clear that it was totally irrelevant. That does not mean that he from now on has the mental confidence to make the plays you need him to make. And Matt Ryan, as Markeem will point out, his whole career has a track record of just not being clutch. And I don't think...
all the way back to college. Y'all know he was literally a pass away from the BCS his last year at Boston College. What does he do? Like, legit, wide open. Guys back in the end zone. 10 seconds left. You win the game with that pass. He totally misses everyone. That's Matt Ryan. That's like, when I saw that, I was like, that's going to be Matt Ryan his whole career.
Like, sometimes, and I don't want to be like, I do not want to be like some of these assholes when it comes to Peyton Manning, because Peyton Manning legitimately has had a lot of bad luck in that a lot of the time teams rely so much on him that when the team doesn't do well, he gets all the blame. Same with the Aaron Rodgers thing. I'm afraid Aaron Rodgers, if shit doesn't change, Aaron Rodgers might win 3 MVPs, but he also might have a similar playoff record. And then people will criticize Rodgers for, at the end of the day, not being very consistent in the playoffs. I think it's going to follow a similar path.
Skip Bayless, man. He got, oh, God.
Yes.
Go ahead, kid.
But with Matt Ryan, when someone has a track record, and it's like that their whole careers, I really don't think that just goes away. What more motivation do you need? What more motivation can cause you to go the other way? I really, really do think that it's not going to be too different from this point forward. And I do think that people are kind of, like I said, the Cowboys story says it all. I'm sorry, it does. It was the exact same story. And they won. And now what? And it's like nothing's changed. You don't even remember that they won that playoff game. So they're still the team that can't get it done.
So what you're saying is you think they would have to win this week for it to change?
Yes.
Okay.
If they go to the Super Bowl, all bets are off because the NFC was really tough this year. And I don't care how you slice it. They got to the Super Bowl in a really, really tough NFC competition. A 10-6 team didn't make the playoffs, for crying out loud. Like, you know, this was a hard year. If they make the Super Bowl,
like Phil called, I couldn't believe he did.
Yes, like Phil called. So if they make the playoffs, fine. I'll say it's different. But honestly, it's too hard for me to make that leap because they're still the Falcons, and to see them blow.
Like I'm ready to say that this team is gonna make the Super Bowl now because of that. Like because of that game was just like now when the first half was going on, I was like maybe they are different. Then the second half hit, I was like, oh, never mind.
They're the same.
Even if they win, these are still the goddamn Falcons.
And if you guys remember, I said the winner of the Falcons-Seahawks game will go to the Super Bowl because I really did think if the Falcons could stop a team as hot as Seattle, one of the most balanced teams in football, I really do think that must means they've changed. But after seeing the game, I was like, I was wrong. You don't have to change to beat Seattle.
And then Seattle did that same bullshit they did the week before. They came out slow, man. Like that's a sign of inexperience, though. I really believe that. And
because I expected Pete Carroll. I mean, we could talk about this later. I think we might actually talk about it later. I expected Pete Carroll to coach the way Pete Carroll was coaching during the regular season. Because these past 2 weeks, I don't know, man. If RG3 doesn't get hurt, I mean, I still think they probably would have won. I think this week is more evidence of that they could start slow and just like get shit going towards the end. But you know, Pete Carroll's got to do better than that in the playoffs. I know it's his first 2 playoff games, but he can't coach this.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's not?
He beat the Saints.
They beat the Saints.
Oh, that's right.
They were 7-9 and got a home game.
And almost beat the Bears, actually.
Yeah.
People forget that part, too.
They beat the defending champs. By the way, at the end of the day, Pete Carroll, if he wants to go to a Super Bowl, he's got to coach differently than this.
Yep.
Because if this was against the Patriots or the Broncos or even
it would have been 35-0.
Yep, definitely. He got lucky there. And at the end of the day, like, you know, it was too much to overcome, but whatever. Anyways, let's move on to the final game of the week. Phil, I'll let you start off on this for obvious reasons. Texans at Patriots.
This made me happy, of course. So, I mean, in the same weekend, everybody's favorite Super Bowl favorites, the Broncos, and then everybody's, you know, then your precious Texans went out. So that was awesome. But I just had to throw that out there. But as far as this game, I mean, the first half was close. I mean, it was, you know, I thought
17-13, 17-13.
It was a very manageable game. And then the second half happened.
Third quarter. Not
well,
the
yeah.
second half, the third quarter.
Well, yeah, but at that point, you could say it partially at the end.
But even then, it was almost. I mean, Schaub scores on that last drive, and it's a 1-possession game. Like, there's garbage time, but that was.
I got some shit to say about him. Go ahead, Phil.
I got.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree, Big Rat, on that. This stupid thing keeps coming up. But yeah, I mean, I think that as far as the game, I mean. I said it would. I mean, I was vocal in saying I thought it was ridiculous that people were saying that, you know, it was going to be a blowout, or that, you know, they were thinking that it could be. And yeah, of course I wouldn't even call it a blowout. I would just call it Patriots pretty much dominated. You know,
it was a clear win.
It was a clear win. And one thing I'll say is every team in the league needs to follow what the Patriots are doing because they can shut down J.J. Watt. I mean, he can get through every once in a while. I mean, he got 1 sack, I think, in that game. Which was on a play action. I was like, this is J.J. Watt's about to cream Brady, and he did.
Phil, I'm glad you brought that up. I just want to chime in real quick. I'm gonna let you finish. It just popped in my head. I noticed that, like, and I know how to. I wouldn't say they shut him down, but I know how to make him not seem completely unblockable. He has to see different people blocking him, or he figures out the person in front of him. One thing that Bill Belichick is amazing at, that no one else in the league does, is substitute his offensive lineman. How many people you know do that?
Right,
Bill Belichick
moves around like crazy.
That. Like you know what I mean? Like he has like offensive linemen running on and off the field. He has like legit second stringers that are coming for a few plays, and it's because J.J. Watt hardly ever saw the same person in front of him, and that is how you deal with him. That is how you make him and all the great pass rushers. You know what I mean? The problem is in the NFL, and it's been like this for years, is that not enough coaches coach well enough or have faith enough in their backup guys to do something like that. And that it worked perfectly on J.J. Watt. Just had to throw that out there. But go ahead, Phil.
All right.
God damn it, Bosch. Sorry, watching the Heat game.
Are you watching the Heat game?
Yeah. I saw LeBron got the record, by the way, or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
youngest player
to reach
20,000.
Yeah.
Youngest ever to do that.
Saw it on Twitter.
Hashtag GOAT. Just saying.
Anyways, so back to
we'll see.
Hey, Marquis. I was about to say 5 years.
5 years from now.
5 years.
Good
to you.
As far as the game, I mean, it didn't go where I thought.
Yay, Bosch made a 3.
Shut up, kid. Let him talk.
It didn't go the way I thought it would go. The first half, the Patriots put the ball in Schaub's hand. I mean, it was just that simple. We were shutting down. I mean, the way that I think that was one of the best. I mean, yeah, he ended up with 90 yards. The second half, he did a lot better. They decided not to run up the middle like idiots. They decided to run it on the side every once. I was just looking at the game, and I'm thinking, why are you not running out? Trying different things. It's not working for Texans to run up the middle. They just kept doing it in the first half. They changed it up in the second half. They shut that run defense did really, really well. And I think the Patriots put the game in the hands of Schaub in the first half, and the game was close, and then just the second half it just got away from the Texans, and the Patriots just kept going. Obviously I say third quarter, and then obviously fourth quarter, the Patriots were able to get a field goal, or one more touchdown, and then a field goal at the end, but they came back and made it, I guess I wouldn't say respectable, but to insert a word in there. But I mean, that's just the thing that I always say about and this is not as significant in this game, but if the Patriots don't turn the ball over, you've got to be on your A game, because I know that's true about a lot of teams, but Patriots more than other, and especially your top teams. I'll put them all together.
I just say prolific offenses.
Right.
Too many more prolific. Yeah. The Patriots, what I mean?
Right. So I mean,
if they don't turn the ball over, they're gonna score. So.
Right. So they had 0 turnovers. Houston had 1, and that was an interception from Schaub. So, I think that I just think the Patriots. I mean, there's really nothing to say. I can talk on my Patriots. One thing I want to say is, I feel so horrible for Rob Gronkowski. Horrible for the guy. He's gonna.
Oh yeah, that looked painful as hell.
Especially
even I do.
What did you say?
It said even I feel terrible for him.
Oh, especially if we go to the Super Bowl, because that would be basically he barely played it in the last. Like we probably shouldn't even play.
In the last
one. Huh?
He was a decoy in the last.
Yeah, he was a decoy in the last one, and maybe that messed us up. I don't know, but whatever. I think that I just felt so sorry for the guy. I was wearing his jersey too, and I was like, man, what if I jinxed?
You can hear him scream when he hit the ground.
Oh, I knew as soon as he went to the sideline, before they were even reporting on it, I was like, that dude looked like he's hurting. Like I tweeted,
like for real, if you watch the game as soon as he hit the ground, you hear him go ah. I was like, oh shit.
And I was like, when he was going down, I don't know what bright idea I thought. I mean, he should have landed on his shoulder. Like he should have.
You can't throw that, Phil. You're on your way to the ground.
I know, but before, I mean, you already broke your forearm, and you're just stretching your arm. I know.
My God! Oh my God!
Shut up!
Shit.
I'm about to mute you. Shut up!
Who cares about the freaking Heat?
No, LeBron just had a crazy alley-oop dunk. Holy shit!
But yeah, I think that can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just think that one of the biggest things is what I loved is to see. Well, I didn't love to see these guys go down, but Woodhead and Gronkowski went down. Brady said this at the end of the game to confirm it. They were in the game plan big time, and they just adjusted. I mean, Vereen stepped up, Ridley stepped up. Hernandez, Welker's always there. Lloyd was there when needed. Guys stepped up. And that shows an overall really good team when they can come in and random people. I mean, half the people that I can almost guarantee half. Besides me and maybe y'all, and a few others that actually follow other teams, they probably didn't even know who Shane Vereen was before this game.
I did.
He doesn't. You would know. You would know, and Markeem would know too. But I'm talking about, there's a lot of fans that probably,
motherfucker screwed me over in fantasy football.
Well, yeah. Note to self: don't take a Patriots running back. But yeah, and then if you can't stop Welker, I mean, you're just in trouble. You can't, and they couldn't. And I just, just like I said, there's nothing much to say. I mean, this is one of the. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say in the game, but about the game. But yeah, I mean, Patriots went in and did play really well. I think how me and Markeem you've talked about this and I've talked about this. If the team can play consistent, this team is pretty bad, and they were consistent on defense and offense for the majority part of the game, and that's when if I can see that, if I only see one, the games are usually closer than they should be.
And you know what I would say is only happened twice this year, and both times were against the Texans.
So, at least it's happening against the Texans. So, as far as what the Texans need to do,
wait, time out. What's only happened twice this year?
Like the Patriots,
the Patriots playing consistently great offense and defense at the same time in one day. Sorry, kid.
That's cool.
But as far as the Texans, I think, I know they have some better other guys on the line, but I think you need to get someone you can somehow free agency pool or draft or something. Give somebody to distract some offensive line attention.
I would say they need someone on the line more explosive in the pass rush.
Right.
They got good linemen. It's just like J.J. Watt is like literally on the line, not necessarily linebackers, but on the line consistently the only person getting any pressure. Like, they don't have too many coverage sacks because, J.J. Watt, he's the only one consistently getting in the backfield. So,
and the other thing, I just remember the other thing I wanted to say. Big Rat might hate me for saying this, but I know you're going to go off on him, but I'm not sure that this team can go the distance with Schaub. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced in it. Can they get there? Can I get to this point? Yes, but can he? When you're going up against an elite, as long as the elite, and my friend made this point the other day today when we were talking about it, he said, as long as elite guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are playing in the game, he's not. He's not. What he's doing is not going to be enough to beat those guys. And I mean, might be the hard truth, but.
Okay, here. Let me get in on that right now. Unless you have something else. To say, because I go.
No, that was it. That was the finish point.
Like I told Markeem.
The finish.
Like I told Markeem beforehand, this was one of the saddest football weekends for me in a long time, and legitimately. Like, I know I kind of joke around on how much I hate the Patriots and how much I love the Broncos and love the Texans, but legitimately as a fan, like I was legitimately just kind of upset. Like throughout the whole weekend, Peyton Manning's my favorite athlete of all time, and I just really, really, really wanted to see him get that ring this year, and I thought it was the year. I just had a feeling that kind of the same feeling I had with Drew Brees in 2009. Better example, Roethlisberger his first year. When they first played their first playoff games, both of those two quarterbacks, I just had a feeling, man, they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. And with the Broncos, I don't know why, but I still had that feeling for them. And it was just really, really rough for me to see them lose. The Seahawks are a team I really like. I was rooting for them, not just because my best friend's a big fan, but I actually legitimately, me and him at the start of the season predicted the Seahawks to make the playoffs before the season even started. We said they would get the 5th seed in the wild card. So I really, really was happy with what they did.
Even with Matt Flynn playing quarterback?
No, this is when Russell Wilson was announced.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because I knew that Sherman and Browner were awesome last year. I remember watching them play. I mean, no, fuck, what am I saying? Not Sherman and Browner. I forget what. I knew their defense was good last year. I'll say that. Whenever I would watch them play consistently, I knew that they had a really, 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 really good up to date defense, and I really, really thought that they could do some good things.
Real quick, Big Rat. Real quick, before I forget this. I forgot. I'm gonna butcher his name. But they were missing somebody huge in that Atlanta game. Who was it?
John Abraham.
No, not Atlanta. Seattle was missing a guy.
Chris Clemens.
Yeah.
By the way, John Abraham might not play this week. That's what I've.
Oh, that could
That's
be.
what I read. It says Falcons preparing for the possibility of no Abraham versus 49ers.
Okay.
Updated 7 hours ago. So that's
But that's gonna be huge, especially with Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Let me say this, that I legitimately was heartbroken. I mean, the Texans have been my team for years, and a lot of that has to do with Matt Schaub. I mean, not just Andre Johnson, obviously, and the fact that they have more UM players in the roster. Yes. And aside from maybe the Ravens, they probably, but I would say even with the Ravens in mind, Texans probably have the most UM players on their roster with,
Yeah, I know.
So I've been a big fan of that team, and Schaub, fuck.
He's not getting a blowjob.
Yeah.
No, I got my wisdom teeth removed, and one of my stitches is just getting undone. Yeesh. All right, well, Schaub is someone I've really loved, and it just drove me crazy how I looked at this guy's numbers year after year after year after year, and no one talks about him. And it's still true. The 5th or 6th highest quarterback rating career-wise in the NFL. It's Rodgers, Brady. It's Rodgers, Brady, Peyton, Breeze, Romo, and Schaub. But Schaub, for whatever reason, these past 8 years, I guarantee you your casual NFL fan doesn't even know his name. Like, I honestly think that he got no respect, and that's why I've been a big fan, and we're pushing for him to make the playoffs. And I will admit, the past 5-6 weeks, ever since the Patriots game, Schaub really, really has looked not very good. And it leads me to believe that he may just be, I talked to my dad about it this morning, because my dad knows I'm a big Schaub fan, and he was like calling me during the game, like joking around with me, hey man, Schaub really sucks. And, but what he told me this morning...
Your dad sounds awesome.
Yes. What he told me this morning was that, hey, look, man, this is what I think. I think Schaub is a very good quarterback. I just don't think he's a Super Bowl quarterback. It's simple. I think that Schaub, he said, look at the team he had this year. You had Arian Foster, you had Andre, you had Owen Daniels, J.J. Watt, Jacoby Jones. They had a lot of good things going. Schaub he looked very, very inconsistent and very, very inaccurate both games. And he didn't look like a productive quarterback when they needed him to. Because once the Patriots went up 38-13, all of a sudden, Schaub is fucking, putting up 15 points on the board with ease. Like, when they don't need him to win them games, he does really, really well. Because mechanically, he's a really talented quarterback. He's not a system quarterback. Mechanically, he is talented. Just when you need him to win games, when it really, really matters, he can't, in the playoffs probably, I would say. Because in the regular season, he had the Jacksonville game and the Lions game. In the playoffs, it seems like he just can't get you over that hump. And I also want to...
You could say against elite quarterbacks.
He was... Go ahead, Phil, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say in matchups against elite quarterbacks.
And really, even though this Texans team is really balanced, it's so balanced to the point that maybe you can't have a balanced team without a top 5 quarterback as well. Like, I don't know. It was very weird for me to see this. That, J.J. Watt is the best defensive player on the planet. Arian Foster's a top 3 running back. Andre's a top 3 receiver, maybe top 5 at this day and age. Owen Daniels is a top 5 tight end. I don't care what any of you guys say.
I would agree with
that. Top 5, yeah.
Jacoby Jones made the Pro Bowl as a cornerback. They have so much talent, but it seems like, they just can't win with Schaub. Now, I will also say this. This was what people seem to forget is that this is Schaub's first chance to play in the postseason. And I say his chance because he had to ride some really shitty teams year after year after year after year. And he carried them to 9-7, 8-8, 7-9 seasons by himself before they got Foster. And I guess before they got J.J. Watt, before they got Jacoby Jones, with a little help from Andre. So it's not like Schaub only wins because he had a great team around him. No, it's not the case. It's just that he can't really get this team to the Super Bowl. But I want to say this: it's his first chance, and I think we should give him. Not everyone's Russell Wilson, man. Not everybody proves to win their first year. I think Schaub at least deserves another season before we can officially write him off as the Texans can't win with him. because
Agreed.
he does so
Well, I
many.
agree. Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, I don't want to make it like that's what I'm saying.
Because he does so many good things during the regular season, and he's still mechanically. I mean, he made the Pro Bowl this year for crying out loud, along with Brady and Manning. Like, he's so talented that I really do think that this was his first time in a playoff atmosphere. He's 1-1. Like, I would give him more time before I officially write him off. Like my dad said this morning, he's a very good quarterback. He's just not a Super Bowl quarterback, my opinion at least. And hey, props to the Patriots. They played well, even though they. I mean,
Wow, that's coming from the kid.
Good job, Big Rat. Good job.
I've given them props before. I picked them to beat the fucking Niners.
It's rare. It's just rare.
It's just rare.
I will admit, Schaub's pick 6, when that happened, I was like, come on, man. Like, even I was, like, so upset, because as soon as he threw that, I said, that's a touchdown the other way. Like, if there's Belichick, there's a reason why. The reason why Belichick's a top 2 coach of all time, it's not for any other reason aside from the things
Hold on. Who you got up there with him?
Walsh.
Wait, Big Rat, he didn't
Walsh.
return that.
Walsh. No. I didn't say it was a pick 6. I'm saying once you turn over the ball, the Patriots are going to turn that turnover into a touchdown.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying. Okay,
Yes.
Who you say, kid?
Walsh, not Shula.
Oh, okay. All right.
Shula's
Okay.
probably 3.
Okay.
I really do think that
Belichick. You didn't say nothing stupid.
All right.
But,
Belichick, like the best thing that Belichick does, and this is why Phil, and this is going to hurt Brady's legacy, but it's true. The reason why I think when Brady goes down, the Patriots are still going to be contenders every year is because Belichick, he focuses on the main thing. Like his main focuses in football are not offense or defense. His main focuses in football are we don't turn the ball over. We create turnovers. We turn every red zone opportunity to touchdowns. We don't allow teams to score in the red zone. And you'll notice that for the past 10 years, like those are the categories they're at the top at every year because that's his main focus and that's what wins football games. And
that's what got them to the Super Bowl last year. They were awful defense, but in the red zone, I think they were like ranked 11th or something like that.
Yeah, they were pretty decent.
Yeah. So
one thing I thought, I don't know if you guys saw this, but y'all see him? Did y'all see Belichick's reaction
to one of the touchdowns? Yeah.
To the touchdown to Shane Vereen. He's like, okay, we scored. Moving on.
All right then.
He's like, I'm working here.
So,
that's that Nick Saban shit right there.
Yeah.
Clap. Good job. That little clap. Nigga, you killing them. And then remember the national championship game? This dude throwing down his clipboard and shit. I'm like, y'all are winning like 40 points. What's wrong with you?
So, we'll see about the Houston Texans in their future. Obviously, I was upset. Obviously, Peyton losing didn't make it any better. So I was actually I was driving back from Tallahassee. For those that you all don't know, I live in Miami. Tallahassee is like 8 hours away from me. And after that game, man, I was with friends, but I was in a bad mood the whole way back. Because it was just like the Dolphins have let me down year after year. That it's gotten to the point that even though they will always be number 1 in my hearts, I am forced to adopt a second or third team so I don't kill myself out of football insanity. And the Dolphins are number 1. They'll always be number 1. That will never change. But I really do care when the Texans and Broncos win or lose. And to have them both lose in the same weekend and to a team that I hate more than any other franchise in sports, it was just rough for me. It was really, really rough. Like, I was actually legit broke. I wasn't crying or anything, but I was just in a bad mood. But, yeah, props to the Patriots. It is what it is. And might I also say, no one's talking about this. Everyone talks about, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan scored a touchdown in 30 seconds and 2 timeouts. And everyone's like, but they had to win. What no one is talking about is Matt Schaub had 11 seconds at the end of the half. And with 11 seconds,
that was awesome,
he drove down and kicked a field goal.
I said it on my Twitter. I was like, you know what? I'm not even mad at that 3 points because I'm actually glad that a team's going for it.
Yes. Like
said that on my Twitter.
This isn't the end of the game. This is halftime.
They knew they needed points. Like they knew they're going to need points, and they can't give up. If John Fox should have been paying attention to
that. Markeem, now you can go.
First thing I want to say, the Patriots played a hell of a game, minus the fourth quarter. But at that point it was over. Yeah. I mean, but Yeah, he played a hell of a game, man. I can't, say much bad. I already didn't praise Belichick enough, especially for his protection on Watt. Tom Brady was Brady. I mean, he's a bad dude. Like I always say, just because I think Aaron Rodgers is better, I'm not an idiot. I mean, he's a bad dude. Wes Welker, as I always say, that's the baddest white boy in the world.
Pay the man.
Ever since he was at Texas Tech, I was telling everybody this little white dude can play. And look at him now. He's legit one of my favorite players in the NFL. I think y'all both know that. And
that's the one real quick, Marky. That's the only thing that a Super Bowl win would that I would worry about a Super Bowl win, because I would feel like Welker might leave after that. That's the only thing. Hopefully.
Or did they win a Super Bowl? You don't think he'll come? You don't think they'll bring him back?
No, I think he would leave. Like, I think he would be like okay with if he like. What I'm saying is he's more prone to go get his money if he's got his ring.
Well, I think they can match whatever anyone gives them, right?
Yeah, they got a good cap. They're in the top 5, I think.
Yeah, but Phil's argument is if they haven't paid him back by now, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna match some crazy. You know how teams get. They throw. I mean, the Seahawks love 5 receivers. They're liable to, But I'm just saying, like any team, I could see a team being ridiculous, and the Patriots be like, "We won a Super Bowl. Go ahead." But hopefully that if we win a Super Bowl, he'll stay. But anyways, I just want to throw that out there. Sorry, Marky.
No, you good, Phil.
We'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
I think that more than any other game, this was the most obvious that the Texans needed Brian Cushing. Yes. Oh my God!
That's true.
The middle of the field all day, just stuff was cut, and Brian Cushing was there. Shit wouldn't have went down like that. They needed him this game. They need for everyone to be healthy. We don't know anything about this tech. We don't know how good they actually are because some shit happens every year. So when everyone is healthy, that's when I comment a little bit more on them. But the Patriots were amazing. But I want to get on Matt Schaub.
But the same thing, Marquine. Sometimes you can't always be healthy, so you got to be prepared.
I mean, yeah, but you need at least your core healthy. Like you know what I mean? Like the Packers, without Clay Matthews and Aaron Rodgers, they won't do a damn thing. Yeah, I mean, the Patriots, without Tom Brady, they won't win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, well, at least, as of right now, I don't think so. I think they still.
Unless Ryan Mallett's some amazing guy that we don't know about.
Belichick is some amazing guy.
Ryan Mallett is not amazing. But I watched almost all his games at Arkansas. That dude is not amazing.
He's got to be better than Matt Castle.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
If Matt Castle goes 11-5,
we're talking about winning the Super Bowl, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think, it's not gonna happen.
Well, Brady hasn't done it in 8 years, so
Oh God!
Shut up, kid! God damn! Stop! You sicken me with that shit. Just stop.
Talk about Schaub.
Yeah.
But yeah. But you need at least your core guys. I mean, you need them. Well, it's just not gonna happen. But and Cushing is a core guy. I mean, they need that dude. That was like my big question mark for them. Like, I didn't think they would. Like, remember when we did that video after he got hurt? And I was like, I don't think they win a Super Bowl without him. Remember I said that? Yeah. I just didn't think it was going to happen. But let me talk about Schaub. Schaub is the ultimate overachiever. Like, because coming into the NFL, he got drafted 3rd round, something like that. 3rd round.
Yeah.
When he was at Virginia, and I didn't think he was that great either. And I hated him because he played for the enemy, obviously. But, I was like, oh, this dude's solid. I mean, even in college, he was solid. He wasn't really that great. If y'all remember, he was in Atlanta. Michael Vick went down for a few games, and he came in and played extremely well. Remember that?
Yeah.
And, and then he won a few games, and then they put back in Vick foolishly, and then y'all saw what happened there. But, and then when he came to Houston, I was like, okay, now they're going to give him the keys to this offense. Let's see what he does. And during the regular season, he's been everything the kid has said. You know what I mean? But let's just put it in perspective, okay? Now the games matter for the Texans. Let's think about some of their big games and shit. Some of their big, games this season that were all over TV. The Packers game.
Got killed.
What did Schaub do in the Packers game? I mean, the Patriots game, we all saw what happened there. And after the Patriots game, when everyone was calling them frauds and everybody was paying attention to the Texans, time and time again, when it matters. I mean, I know we should give him more time, kid, but this is being true. Now the games matter. And he shows that he's wildly inconsistent when shit matters. I mean, he was good when the games didn't matter as much because no one expected him to do anything. I mean, but now that you have a good team, I mean, and they need you, like, for as great as that team is around you, they need you. They need to know where they're going to get from you on a game in, game out basis. Like Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl not because he was an elite quarterback, because I wouldn't even call him a good quarterback. He was average, but at least he was always average. I mean, like he was like they knew they were getting an average quarterback. Everybody stepped on the field. With Matt Schaub, you have no idea. There are some plays where he looks like Tom Brady. There are some plays where he looks like Mark Sanchez, and that's not going to cut it. You're not going to win a championship like that. And it pains me to say it because he he seems like a cool guy. I mean, I like the dude. Like press conferences, he's hilarious about how monotone he is and like how much he acts. Even when they lost to the Patriots, he was like, "Well, I'm proud of my team. We had a good season. You know, things happen. We'll be back next year." That's about all he said, and he got up. That's literally about. I like the dude. You know, I want him to do well, even though he played for the enemy when he was in college. But he has got to be consistent. I'm not saying he has to be elite because I don't think he'll ever be elite. But they have to know what they get from him every game. That's all I got to say.
All right. And
I'm sorry. I know that's your boy, but he's wildly inconsistent.
I understand, and trust me, it pains me to see it. But like I also told my brother, you know, the spotlight's never really been on Schaub. This is the first time where the Patriots game was the first time the spotlight was on him. But now, I think after this season is the first time where people are going to be questioning his ability to be a quarterback, to take his team to a Super Bowl. And maybe with that criticism, he does differently. Because that criticism wasn't there the previous weeks. The games mattered, but they weren't saying, I really am not sure if Schaub can win a Super Bowl with this team. Now they're saying that. Now they're saying, we don't trust you. And we'll see how he responds to that.
So can he take the ball and run with it? I agree.
All right.
Just be consistent. And then honestly, I think next year, if he's consistent and the Texans play well, they can win a Super Bowl. They just need him to be what he's going to be every week.
Fair enough. All right. We're going to talk about all the coaches that got hired. But first, two important notes before that. First off, I don't think we got to talk about it. We might have, but I don't remember. I'm pretty sure we didn't. Another coach got fired last week. Mike Mularkey of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the 8th coach fired this offseason, fired after their new GM, Dave Caldwell. Is it Dave Caldwell? It's something Caldwell. After their new GM said that, that
I'm curious to hear Phil's opinion on that.
On what, the Tebow thing?
Yeah, the Tebow thing.
Yeah, okay. Well, separately, before we talk about that, he said he didn't see a situation where Tebow's in Denver. Phil, very quickly, please, for God's sake.
Jacksonville.
Yes, Jacksonville. For God's sakes, let's not talk 30 minutes about Tebow when it's the fucking playoffs. But, Phil, Tebow not being in Jacksonville. Thoughts?
I don't necessarily understand it. I guess he doesn't realize he has Blaine Gabbert. But, I mean, the man said it, and they were okay. The thing that shocks me, I guess, more, I'll keep it short, but the thing that shocked me more is that the organization was like, okay, and we still hired. Like, I figured that the organization was the one that wanted him more than, what I'm saying? Like, they want ticket sales, obviously, I felt like the owner wanted him more than anything.
Yeah, when you hear owners say they want Tim Tebow, don't even read into that, because there's a reason for that.
Right. But, I mean, we'll see. I mean, there'll be plenty of time to talk about where we think he's going to land and all that. So, as far as Jacksonville, as far as the coach, though, I'm not shocked. I said, I mentioned the Jacksonville Jaguars as possibility of firing. So,
Markeem, thoughts on Mularkey getting cut?
It's not fair. Like, the Jacksonville Jaguars are terrible, and most of the season, Maurice Jones-Drew did not play. The best player.
He was out week 5. Didn't come back the rest of the season.
And did he play like for a little bit at the end of the season?
No, he didn't. He never came in.
Brought him back.
Oh, he never came back?
Yeah,
I had him in 2 fantasy leagues. He fucked me over twice. I'm still mad.
Okay, well, see, there you go. He's the second best running back in the NFL. No debate. Anyone that tries to debate that is a fucking idiot. He's the second. You know what I mean, he's the
Second?
second best running back in the NFL. He didn't play at all.
You say,
I mean,
you say
that's
he's second?
second.
So you got AP first?
Of course.
Okay, you don't have Aaron Foster over Maurice Jones-Drew?
No.
Okay, I know a lot of people do. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, Maurice Jones-Drew achieved all that he has in Jacksonville.
I know. Well, no, I agree with him, but I'm saying, that a lot of people have Foster second.
But yeah.
I put Foster third though.
Okay.
Not just Maurice Jones-Drew, but when I was watching the Dolphins game against them, they said that Jaguars had, I think, 13 starters on the injury reserve. You know what I mean? This team's
Think about it. It's not fair, man. You can't expect a coach to move a mountain. Especially in his first year. Like, this team is bad. Like, that's why I didn't think Sherman should have got fired. Like, if there's, Malarkey didn't even have the chance to improve because he didn't even have the rocket. Like, the Jacksonville Jaguars are very similar to the Minnesota Vikings, where they rely on Maurice Jones-Drew the same way the Vikings rely on Adrian Peterson. And he did not have him. It's not fair. It's bullshit, man. That's why they will always be terrible. I thought Jack Del Rio got fired when he shouldn't have. I mean, because that team was losing people thanks to free agency, and people were getting hurt. So they just pretty much just kicked them out the door. I don't think it's fair. I think the NFL, I understand, it's a win-now league. I get that. But I think it's bullshit, man. You got to give these people a chance to win. It's not right.
I think what's ruining it too is these teams that are these coaches that are coming in and starting to win sooner than normal, and I think that's what's hurting it even more too, Marquis.
But a lot of times these teams are already in place, and then they just need a change of philosophy. I mean, look at the Niners.
Right, the Niners.
Remember, for years and years, people were saying, "Oh, the Niners are going to make playoffs, man. Look at this defense."
Raised 10 right here. Didn't say it's like 2007.
And they would disappoint everyone, because they didn't have the right coach. Harbaugh comes in and they almost made the Super Bowl, Some
they're almost making it. They're up for it again.
Like you think the Jaguars are set up for someone to just come in and be like, okay, we're gonna make this change and that change, and we're gonna be in the playoffs. The Jaguars,
no, they're not. Yeah, definitely not.
The Browns, come on, it's not. No, it's not fair. You gotta give these guys a chance to fail or succeed. At least 2 seasons.
Wait, say it, Markeem. You're the Jaguars. You suck.
Yeah, you're the fucking Jaguars. You suck. You're terrible. You're consistently 4th in the AFC South, and that's like one of the worst divisions in all of football.
I guess. Well, you think the Colts do suck, but their record was 11-5.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like most of the time, even when Peyton was dominating the South, most of the time the South was terrible, minus the Colts.
Fair enough. In fact, during those periods, the better teams of the 3 were the Jaguars. They were the ones that were going like 7-9 at least, or 6-10.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, that is true.
I think it's also unfair, and I've heard a lot of people say comparisons to Cam Cameron. Cam Cameron coached the Dolphins during their 1-15 season, but I don't think that comparison is fair because Cam Cameron took over a team that was fine, had a lot of injuries, especially at running back and quarterback. But at the end of the day, Cam Cameron he could not motivate his players to win football games. Like it did, the Dolphins, when they lost, even though a lot of the games were very close, like I think we lost like 5 games by 3 points or less. I mean, at the end of the day, offensively, Cam Cameron, the supposed offensive genius behind LaDainian Tomlinson, he could not produce anything in Miami. Like, it really was a big disappointment. And we went 1-15 and almost went 16-0 until, like, week 15 or some bullshit like that. Like, the man...
0-16?
Yeah, 0-16. The man was a good coordinator. He was not a good head coach. And I didn't care if it was his first year. The Dolphins weren't, you're the Dolphins, you suck. We weren't getting top 5 draft picks every year. At this point, we're a pretty consistent 6-10, 7-9, 8-8 team. And that was our worst season ever. So... yes, I did think Cameron should have been fired that year. But Malarkey, it's the Jaguars, man. And they lost the cornerstone to the entire team in Jones-Drew. And even then, the Jaguars, I mean, yes, some weeks, don't get me wrong, some weeks they got killed. But when they played the Patriots and when they played the Packers, those motherfuckers put up a fight.
And Texans.
And the Texans. And the Vikings go to overtime the first week of the season. People forget that. And they beat the Colts. This team put up a fight. This team felt like they had players that were motivated to play. They just didn't have the talent to beat any of these teams. And I really do think it was unfair. And I really feel bad for Malarkey. But, hey, man, the NFL is just a tough business sometimes, man. That's just how it is. But let's talk now about Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly got hired today as the new coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll get into all the coaches that got hired in a second, but Chip Kelly is obviously the most newsworthy one of the day. Markeem, start us off with this one. Chip Kelly. How will he be?
After this, there was a certain individual I wanted to talk about, but the guy said I never wanted to talk about again. If y'all been listening to the show, y'all know what I'm talking about.
But we'll get to
two
that.
Two things I wanted to talk about, because obviously he's coaching the Eagles. I'm pretty sure y'all want to know how I feel about that. If we keep Michael Vick, believe it or not, I'm totally fine with this, because
I agree.
Mariota and Marcus Mariota, who's the other guy he had before that?
I saw his name too today. I'll look it up.
I can't remember, but Marcus Mariota, he plays for Ole Miss now. I forget his name. They transferred, but yeah, like he groomed both of them, who aren't very good passers. He gave them a way to be effective. You know what I mean?
Brian Bennett.
Because
Brian Bennett.
No, not Ryan Bennett.
Brian Bennett. But here, fuck. I'm looking for it. Keep going.
But yeah, he grooms like, different running athletic quarterbacks, so they can be effective in different ways. And he's the best at that. You know what I mean? He's the best at the straight up punish and run attack. Like, over and over, you're gonna see different ways. Like, LaShawn McCoy is gonna love this. LaShawn McCoy is gonna love this. I just think in the draft they have to address the offensive line. I think you trade up to the number one spot and get Luke Jokel. Yeah, I said it. You trade up, you get rid of one of these overrated ass defensive players you got, and you try and get that first pick and get Luke Jokel. Like, you trade that and some first round picks, move some shit around to try and get him, because you need to upgrade that offensive line. And then when you do that, I mean, you just build off of that, because you have talent, at the skill positions. I mean, as much as I get on Deshaun Jackson, I do think he's talented. I think he's overrated, but I do think he's talented. Jeremy Maclin, also think is overrated. He's talented too. You know what I mean? But I want to talk about Oregon for a little bit.
Is it Jeremiah? Is it Nate?
Jeremiah Mazzoli.
Jeremiah Mazzoli.
Yeah, him too. I want to talk about Oregon for a little bit, because where does that leave them? Like, because he was legit. He was like Deshaun Payton of Oregon, and they're saying that the offensive coordinator, I've been seeing his name all day. I forget who he is.
I'll look it up as well.
They're saying that he's going to take over for Chip Kelly, and I think that's like the perfect thing to do. But I mean, still, if you think there's not going to be any sort of change, you're obviously crazy. Because Joe Vitt and who was the other New Orleans coach?
Pete Carmichael?
Yeah, Steve, there you go. Like, they both came in for Sean Payton, pretty much, and it was not the same. If you think Oregon's going, like, a lot of people were picking Oregon to be a national championship contender next year. I'm a little hesitant on that now, because no Chip Kelly.
Markeem, is it Mark Helfrich?
It could be. I can't remember.
All right, but continue anyways.
But yeah, like a lot of people picking, Oregon to win the national championship, and to at least be in the game. And I was in that boat, but like I'm not even sure anymore. But it's just different in recruiting. I don't know what that's gonna do to recruiting, because Chip Kelly was an amazing recruiter, and like that just changes it up. I mean, I know a lot of kids want to play for Oregon, because Oregon is one of the most recognizable college football teams, period. I mean, everybody's always talking about their jerseys, their facility, their field. Everybody, like, even if you don't know college football, you know about the University of Oregon. So you're going to get publicity. You know what I mean? I think Chip Kelly had a lot to do with that. So I think Oregon, legit, I think this just kind of takes them a step back. A lot of people saying they're going to win the Pac-12 easy next year. And I don't think it's going to be easy next year, especially with Stanford. But I think now Stanford is the favorite, hands down to me. I think they legit take a step back. I think they start out well, because I was looking at the schedule today, and they play a lot of like universities with new coaches. Like, I think Tennessee is like one of their first games, and they play a lot of like a lot of cupcakes and shit. They'll start off well, but I think like down the stretch when they have to play Pac-12 teams, they'll lose.
Well,
it's just it's unfortunate. I feel bad for like a lot of the seniors at Oregon too, because even though he didn't come out publicly and say it, I'm pretty sure a lot of them thought they were going to get their coach back next year. Without Chip Kelly, they just take a step back. I don't think they average 50 points a game. I just don't think it happens.
All right, fair enough. I like the hire. I think those that say that he's going to suck in the NFL, I honestly do believe with a quarterback, that's one thing. With a football player, that's one thing. With a coach, you just don't know, because some people completely change their style when they go to the NFL. I don't think
Pete Carroll.
And I don't think Chip Kelly will do that, but like it's just I think you really can't tell how effective a coach is going to be until you see a full season, in my opinion.
I think he's going to have to work wonders with Vic. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's good for the Eagles. I mean, they got a top guy.
Hey, no, this is close. I wouldn't say this is a team that's a coach away from a Super Bowl, but it's not far off. It's not that far off.
If they really need a defensive line coach. That's what they really need.
Hold on, Phil. I'm not gonna let you get away with that, son. No, you're not a coach. We are a lot of things away from a Super Bowl. Okay, don't do that.
You have
the defensive soft.
Shut the fuck up, pussy. You have the best cornerback in the NFL. I don't want to hear that crap.
No, we do not. No, what? No, we don't. We have the highest paid corner in the NFL.
You took the best cornerback in the NFL and you just made him look like he was normal. Before he came to Philly, he was the best cornerback in the league.
We're not getting into that, but I'm just gonna say I thought he was never the best corner in the NFL. I thought it's always been Revis since he stepped on the field.
But fool.
I hope Brian doesn't hear this.
Listen, Markeem.
Brian would love what you just said, Markeem.
If you look me into your Skype computer while I look into my Skype computer and tell me that you never thought Nnamdi wasn't at least in the top 5, I'm going to call you a fucking liar.
Oh, yeah, of course. But, I mean, come on. I never thought he was the best corner. I thought Revis was clearly better.
Oh gosh, I hope Brian's not listening to this.
But know this: your team has a lot of talent, more talent than most 4 and 12 teams. Whether you like to admit that or not, you're in denial. Because compared to some,
I guess.
All right.
I still got Michael Vick.
I give you that. I give you the talent part. We got a lot of knuckleheads though.
All right.
A lot of idiots.
But idiots have talent. Who turns around that idiotness into talent? A great coach.
But idiots don't win much.
We'll see about that. Eagles are going
to win. Cowboys.
Look at the goddamn Cowboys.
Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl next year.
Oh,
shut the fuck up! Stop. We go 7-9 next year.
Again, missing the playoffs.
Yeah, like we ain't making the playoffs next year. Y'all can kill that dream. RG3 with another season. The Cowboys pretty much going.
The Giants will probably decide to play again.
The Giants are still the Giants. That shit ain't happening. Y'all kill that.
I don't think RG3 comes close to winning the division next year, and the Giants are the Giants. So that really leaves the I'm not going to predict the Cowboys are going to win the division because every fucking time I do that, I have to hear cheers and jeers and you trust the Dallas Cowboys. But
they're an accident waiting to happen.
They were also really, really injured towards the end of the season. Anyways, let's move on to the rest of the coaches that got hired this week. A lot of interesting names coming up. 8 coaches got fired. 6 have been replaced. Lovie Smith, from what I've been told, I don't know if it was before or after a bunch of coaches started getting fired, but I've been told he's taking the year off. So he will not get the...
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's true?
Oh, but did he say that before, like, coaches started getting hired, or after he thought that he wasn't going to get a job? I don't know.
No, it was like right when he got fired.
Okay. So Lovie Smith is not going to get rehired. So, but of the 8 coaches, of the 8 teams, let me try this one more time without fucking this up, because I have a certain logarithm in my head. Eagles, Bears, Chiefs, Cardinals, Chargers, Bills, Browns, Jaguars. Wow!
Chargers hired Mike McCoy, ain't it?
Yeah. For those wondering, my wonderful logarithm to remember all the 8 teams, pick the 2 coaches that went to a Super Bowl, Eagles and then Bears, and then the coach that one of those 2 coaches got hired to, the Chiefs, and then go to the C's. Chiefs, Chargers, Cardinals, and then Bills and Browns for the B's, and Jacksonville for the most recent. Mnemonic devices, baby. That's what I learned at school. Basically, of those 8 teams, The Chiefs hired Andy Reid. The Eagles hired Chip Kelly. The Bears hired Mark Trestman. The Browns hired Rod Chudzinski.
Yo, let me talk about that real quick.
All right, we'll go in order. We'll go in order. Bears, Mark Trestman, go.
That is absolutely phenomenal.
I agree.
Because if y'all don't know, he was an assistant under Bill Walsh and George Seifert in San Francisco. And he worked with Joe Montana towards the end of his career in San Francisco, and Steve Young at the beginning of his career at San Francisco. So think about that. Think about what that's going to do with Jay Cutler. Like, look, y'all know I don't like Jay Cutler. I think he is the most overrated player in the game. One of the most overrated players. Because somehow people still act like this dude is a good quarterback when he has done nothing to show me he is a good quarterback. But I do think he's talented. I'm not going to act like I don't. And I think that Trustman would do an amazing job with him. I believe he will have the best season he's ever had this year. Period. And that is an amazing hire.
And they said, the defensive coordinator is pretty much going to run the entire defense. Like, Trustman's only job is to fix the offense. And this team went 10-6 last year. So, watch out. Just going to say. And yes, I know, I'm one of the guys that picks the Bears almost every year. But, in fact, I have picked the Bears, I think, the past 3 years to go to the Super Bowl. But I really, really do think this is a big one, in my opinion. Phil, any comments? By the way, Mark Trestman, I should say this. For those who do not know, he made his name in the CFL. By the way, he's also a former player, backup quarterback at the University of Miami. Thank you very much. You see, UM dominance runs through all the head coaches in the NFL now, not just the players. But whatever. Not the most dominant franchise in the history of college football. Whatever. Anyways.
They aren't.
Okay.
It's Alabama or Notre Dame or Oklahoma or Ohio State.
All right. Since 1980. Since 1980.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I give you that much.
So, and he made his name in the CFL. He won 3 Grey Cups, I think, which is their Super Bowl. I know he won 2 back-to-back. I don't know if he was the coach of the other one that was years earlier. He is considered the Bill Belichick of the CFL. His team is a contender every year. So, and the CFL, as Skip Bayless said today, the CFL is pretty much just run on offense. For those who do not know, I don't know if it's still like this, but I read in the Rock's book that they back the defensive lineman 1 yard off the ball so that quarterbacks have a better chance of scoring. Like illegitimate.
You said the Rock's book. The Rock says.
Yeah.
You actually read that?
Yes, I actually read that.
Is it any good? Real quick.
It's okay. It's not bad. Though the first like 2/3 of it are great. When he talks about his childhood, playing football at UM, getting into the CFL. Obviously, I would be really interested in that stuff. He talked about his injury. He talked about like Russell Maryland and Warren Sapp. Like the first part, that part's great. Breaking into pro wrestling is great. And then right around 98, 99, like the last 50 pages of the book, for whatever reason he decides to kayfabe the rest of it. It's not like he says it. He admits that it's fake, but half the pages are manuscript of him cutting promos on his opponents. And I don't want to read a book full of Rock promos, but him playing in the CFL was really interesting. There's 3 downs instead of 4. You have to play a yard off the ball so the quarterback has a better chance of scoring. That's why when Jeff Ireland found Cameron Wake from the CFL, that's such a big find, because the fact that he was a defensive standout from the CFL, that must have means he was fucking wrecking shit up there. But the CFL is based all on offense, and they got the best coach in the CFL. So, props to the Bears.
Man, I think he's the best coach in CFL history or something.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, look. This is what winning organizations do. They don't hire other coaches' leftovers. They don't hire other coaches that got fired elsewhere. They look at places that no one else looks at, and they find winners. And that's what the Bears just did. Next coach.
Phil, you got anything to say about that?
I didn't really. I'll be honest. I have no clue who that was, so I couldn't really say anything. So I just kind of was listening. Right. But
fair enough. Eagles hired Chip Kelly. Bears hired Mark Trestman. The Chiefs hired Andy Reid. I believe we've talked about that already.
Yeah, we talked about that.
The Chargers hired offensive coordinator for the Broncos, Mike McCoy. Marquis?
I think that's stupid.
Another genius move, because
that may be the greatest soundbite in the history of YouTube Take.
What?
I think Phil going, I think that's stupid. And Markeem, another genius move.
Yeah. I think Mike McCoy is a smart dude, man. Well, at least offensively, I think he will right the ship, man. I can't imagine Phil Rivers still being bad under this dude because he understands what teams can do offensively. I mean, look at people give Tebow a lot of credit, but do you think Tebow was calling those plays? You know what I mean? Like at the end of games where they were running and cutting teams and stuff like that.
Throwing
because
deep.
he knew.
Throwing deep.
What you say?
Throwing deep.
Yeah, throwing deep and all that. Yeah. You think Tim Tebow was calling them plays? No. I mean, that was Mike McCoy because he knew this boy couldn't throw. So let's try and make him as hard to prepare for as possible.
Look,
that was his plan.
Sorry to interrupt you. Two things quickly. After the Steelers game, the one that Tebow's hugging, like in that highlight after that touchdown at the
it's Mike McCoy.
It's Mike McCoy. It's not John Fox. It's not Elway. It's Mike McCoy. And Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith made a great point today in bashing John Fox for the kneel down. I don't remember if it was today or yesterday because I saw all 3 episodes of First Take this week today because I've been in bed all day. But they said that, back in Carolina, John Fox completely focused on the defense and let Delhomme do whatever he wanted. And that was the problem. Like when Delhomme really started to struggle, that's when the Panthers weren't making the playoffs anymore because John Fox gave him so much power because he just associated with the defense. And they were wondering why doesn't he give Peyton this much power to not take a knee. But anyways, most of the offense, I would say, for the Broncos last year, especially last year. I mean, obviously this year Peyton Manning is kind of his own coach. But anytime the Broncos do anything offensively, I think Mike McCoy is 90% behind it.
And you saw what they did this year and last year. So
yeah.
I think that's a genius move. I think, and let's see if he can lead men. You know what I mean? Because Jason Garrett was a brilliant offensive mind. You saw what happened there. Let's see if he can lead people. We'll see what happens. But in terms of like X's and O's, that's perfect.
I just think it's stupid because I think he got his job because of Peyton Manning. I really do.
Hey, fair enough.
I mean, I agree with what Markeem's saying. He did make Tebow, he helped a lot the year before too, but I think he officially got an offer because Peyton Manning. Like, I really do think
that.
But.
Just like how the defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, got a job because of Tebow.
Right.
Yeah, that is true. That is.
Hey, McCoy, we almost hired McCoy last year over Joe Philbin. I wanted Philbin, although in hindsight, I'm not too sure who would have been better. Because Philbin defensively, Philbin improves our defense a lot, even though he's a former offensive coordinator. But offensively, I mean, our offense improved, but it didn't improve to the level that I thought it should have, considering we had the coordinator for the fucking Packers. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I think we made the right choice in Philbin over McCoy. But McCoy, I liked McCoy as a candidate last year. I think this is a fine job by the Chargers. Then we got the Cardinals, who still don't have a coach. We'll get to that in a second because I have something to say about that. Then we'll go to the Bills, who hired Doug Marrone from Syracuse. Markeem, I've seen one Syracuse game all season. Who is this guy?
It's like a Chip Kelly type situation. He is what he did at Syracuse is West Coast 2.0. And what I mean by that is that the West Coast offense. A lot of, quick runs, a lot of, like, draws and quick outs to the, receivers. Like, it's a lot of quick passes and stuff. When I say West Coast 2.0, it's the West Coast with the option. I mean, like, it was hard to defend. Here is the problem. Here why I think it's a bad idea. This man is the Mike D'Antoni of college football. Like, he for real gives no fucks about defense. And that will be a problem.
Oh, he going to get lit up in the AFC East.
Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. You got Brady there. You know what I mean? You got Tannehill, who's a rookie, but who's coming on. You know what I mean? You got, who else you got?
Matt Barkley, probably.
Yeah.
For the Jets. Better not be Mark Sanchez.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? But still, like, it's not.
It's Rex Ryan. It'll be Mark Sanchez.
In terms of defense, it was just not a good move. But I think he'd be an amazing NFL offensive coordinator. He's a good leader of men. Like we've seen when he was at Syracuse, like they overachieved this year. A lot of people thought they'd be like towards the bottom of the Big East, and they made it to a bowl and beat a team that was supposed to kill them. So,
I want to say
he can lead. You know what I mean, he can lead. That's not a problem.
Do you think that for a player like C.J. Spiller?
Oh, that's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be amazing, man.
Hey.
that probably had a lot to do with it because they know he's gonna get the ball a lot more now.
Give him the damn ball. All right. Next one, aside from Bills, is.
Oh, Phil, you had anything to add? Man, just go fast, Phil.
No, that's all right. I don't have anything to say about him.
Browns adding Rod Chudzinski. By the way, another former football player at the University of Miami. Oh, just saying. And in addition to Chudzinski, he also hired his new offensive coordinator, Norv Turner. So, thoughts on this double move there, Markeem?
The Norv Turner for the Browns?
Yeah, as the offensive coordinator.
That's fucking incredible. Like, Brandon Weeden gonna learn so much. Like that's incredible.
That's really good.
Yeah. You know Troy Aikman, that was his offensive coordinator when his second year in the league, because he was terrible. A lot of people don't know he was terrible his rookie year. Then he became the player that he became because of Norv Turner. That's amazing for Brandon Weeden. Now all Norv Turner got to do is worry about offense, which is what he wanted to do anyway in San Diego. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the Norv Turner move is really good.
Chudzinski, who cares? Who cares? Yeah. Like, no matter what he does,
he's gonna get fired.
Like he'll get if they fired Shermer, he's on a short leash too. So don't be shocked.
So he better win 9 or 10 games.
Yeah,
or 8.
The way you going.
So I think that's all like coaches. The only two teams that have oh, by the way, Omar Kelly, a beat writer for the Dolphins, says Chudzinski has one of the best football minds he's ever seen, and he's not just saying that because he went to UM. So probably good things ahead for the Browns. I really, when I saw a lot of people on ESPN like being critical, like this franchise has been struggling for years and years. They even said, by the way, them Bills and Dolphins, just saying, this franchise has been struggling for years and years, and you give them these combo, and I'm like, this is a good fucking deal. Like, Browns fans should be happy. Like, honestly,
agreed.
Chudzinski and Norv Turner as a coordinator?
Norv Turner, son, as an offensive, like as a head coach, I'm not so sure about offensive coordinator. Perfect, absolutely perfect.
The only two teams that have not hired a coach yet, one is obviously the Jaguars because they just fired theirs, and the Cardinals, and apparently the lead candidate for the Cardinals is Bruce Arians. So what would your thoughts on that be for the Colts and for the Cardinals?
He should just stay where the fuck he at, because the Cardinals is a horrible job, absolutely horrible job. Like, the defense is good, I mean, that much is obvious, but they have no offensive line and 2 shitty quarterbacks there, and no running game to speak of. That's a horrible job. Absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I would.
Like, honestly, the league should coach that team. Like Rodgers. It's real, like you know how the league owns the New Orleans Hornets, like the NBA.
Yeah.
Like the league should just
Pelicans.
coach that team because they like, come on, man. Fucking horrible. Like, it's the worst. I think honestly, it might be the worst job in pro sports. Seriously, might be.
I mean,
might be.
When it comes to the worst teams in football, like the Lions, the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Jaguars may have worse records, but I think I'd take all 4 of those teams over the Cardinals any day of the week.
Yep.
We get freaking lost to them.
Like the defense is incredible. I think, but the problem is that they always on the goddamn field because they suck offensively. Y'all know Larry Fitzgerald only had 700 yards this year.
That's embarrassing.
And he played every game.
Brian Hartline had 1,000 yards for comparison.
I've got a bet with my friend saying that he won't be an Arizona Cardinal.
He shouldn't if he knows what's good for him.
They said my friend knows a lot about the cap stuff, and
he's almost untradeable though because of that damn
that cap. That's what he thinks. That's why he thinks he won't go anywhere. Which he might be right, but we'll see. I think somehow, some way, he's not a Cardinal.
And Jacksonville, like I said, who knows? I have no idea who the leading candidate is right now. In fact, I'll just very quickly, I'll write leading head coach candidates for Jacksonville. I'll mention some names that have been in the
Bill
talks.
Cowher. I'm just kidding.
I hope he comes back. Seriously, I think he's still got a lot left.
Yeah, I heard. From what I heard,
this year,
from
though.
what I heard, he'll come back, but just not now. All right, leading candidates for the Jaguars are Pete Carmichael, offensive coordinator for the Saints, Marty Schottenheimer, and Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator for the Bengals. Thoughts on any
Marty
of the 3?
Schottenheimer.
Yeah, I think Jay Gruden will get it. I forgot that he was there. Jay Gruden's the guy that finally closed the door on. I think that's who who's going to
I
get it.
would go with Gruden also.
You would go with Jake, yeah. I think Mike Zimmer, by the way, the defensive coordinator of the Bengals, that guy's really good. I really do think that someone should give him a look. He's been in the league for a long, long time, and has not been given one head coaching job. I think he deserves a chance. But I'm cool with Jake.
Oh, we got to talk about Rob Ryan and Monty Kiffin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're right.
And the other Kiffin.
The other Kiffin.
The other guy.
Rob Ryan out, Monty Kiffin in. Phil, start us off on this one. Good idea, bad idea, dumb as fuck idea.
I think the Rob Ryan deal is very questionable, but I mean, I understand you got to make changes somewhere. I think Jason Garrett would have been the smarter move, to be honest. But as far as Monty Kiffin, Markeem, the college man over here, would have to tell you more about that. I mean, obviously he's a great offensive mind, but can he do it again here in the NFL? That's just remains to be seen. I think it's a gutsy call, and we'll see if it pans out for the Cowboys.
I can go now.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Firing Rob Ryan is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. He took a team that was legit one of the worst defenses in football and made them better. They were ranked 21st. They were ranked 30th the year before, wasn't it? 30th?
Yeah.
They were ranked 21st.
Yeah.
He made them better. And the comment he made, I don't give a fuck. People was like, it's smart or dumb. It's smart because it's fucking true. It's like, don't worry. I won't have a job for about 5 minutes. Y'all don't have to worry about me. I get another job because it's true.
And I heard things about him to the Rams, and that would be huge.
Him to the Rams. Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what's his name? Jake Long. Can you imagine that shit?
Chris
The
Long.
character.
But yeah.
Chris Long. Jake Long's the other one. Jake Long's the guard. Howie Long's two big ass sons.
Oh, by the way,
Big-ass
I'm glad you put that up. They're not brothers, but
what, Jake Long and Chris? They never related though.
no, Jake Long is not Howie's son. I looked it up.
You sure about that?
Yeah, they're can back check on me, but
Wait, are you sure that they're what? That they're not brothers, or that they're not Howie Long's son?
no, Chris Long is, but Jake Long's not.
I know for a fact Chris Long is.
Yeah, Chris Long
I
is,
heard
but
Jake
Jake
Long
Long's not.
was too. That's why I just went with
Let me.
But I know he has another. He has another son playing college right now. Playing in college right now. Just Rob Ryan would be amazing. But Monty Kiffin, I know that Jerry Jones said there was changes to come. I know this, but did he not see USC last year? Like, did he not know that they were preseason #1 and gave up most yards of any preseason #1 team in the history of the game? They did not know. And Phil, remember when you asked me? I had to think about it. Remember when you asked me, was they the first preseason #1 team to finish unranked?
Right.
They were not. You know the last time that happened?
Was Lane Kiffin coaching?
No.
Oh.
1964, Archie Manning's Ole Miss team.
Wow.
That's the last time that happened. Yeah. That's how monumentally bad Lane Kiffin was this year. And you know what? That Archie Manning team, his Ole Miss team, Archie got hurt, so they had a fucking excuse. Lane Kiffin, no excuse. So I'm just saying. But anyway, I just feel like it's just all in all a bad idea. Now, don't get me wrong, Monty Kiffin is one of the greatest NFL defensive coordinators of all time. He is also in his 70s.
Right.
So I'm just saying it's a bad idea. Everything about it is stupid.
But it's the Cowboys. Does it shock you?
I understand. Like, Rob Ryan is the one guy of everyone on that staff that shouldn't be fired. And he got fired.
Like, I think Tim Kalishaw from Around the Horn said this. By the way, that Around the if you can be one of those guys that hates SportsCenter because you hate the ESPN guys because they don't report news factually and they're very biased and they don't know what to talk about.
Around the Horn is a bunch of independent writers from around the nation. I love that show.
Yes, and that show is excellent. I learned so much from that show. I see it every day. Woody Page, Tim Kalishaw, Bomani Jones, even Michael Smith, Bob Ryan, Israel Gutierrez, Pablo Torre. I can go on and on. Jamel Hill.
Bob Ryan is the godfather of the NBA, man. He's been covering the NBA since before the NBA was invented. You know what I mean?
He's been around for a long time, yeah. So really a lot of great. That is not produced by ESPN guys. That is produced by independent guys. The only other show I watch that is produced by ESPN guys would be First Take, but that's because it's just, it's even Markeem. As much as we hate
It's
Skip,
fucking awesome, man. It's fucking awesome.
It's the inspiration for the show right now.
Right.
And numbers never lie.
Oh, and I watch Dan Libertar, highly questionable. I like that show.
Yeah, I like that one and Dan Libertar.
Oh, did y'all hear Poppy? Did y'all hear Poppy rapping with Uncle Luke yesterday?
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it's funny as shit. But
he was rapping Doo-Doo Brown. Poppy was rapping.
But and also numbers never lie because it has Michael Smith, who I guess.
Fuck that show.
No, that show is amazing. And I know that Markeem.
That show.
I know Markeem doesn't like Hugh Douglas or Jalen Rose about football, but don't watch it. Don't watch Numbers Never Lie for the guys, even though Michael Smith is the man. Watch Numbers Never Lie for the numbers that they bring up.
Well, yeah, I like it. I love the concept of the show, but if Jalen Rose and Hugh Douglas were on there, I'd watch more.
But it's
I kind of felt the same way.
But the stats they bring up are really, a lot of the stats that they use on the Around the Horn, they get from Numbers Never Lie. Like some of the stats that whole stat of how 10 of the past 15 Super Bowl winners were won by head coaches on their second head coaching job. Like that was brought up on Numbers Never Lie. That 10 of the past 15 Super Bowl coaches have gotten fired before. So being fired, that was their argument for why Andy Reid and Lovie Smith could still possibly win one elsewhere. But both Numbers Never Lie, Around the Horn, and First Take. Watch all three. Anything else on ESPN, aside from Chris Berman's post-NFL games coverage, everything else is kind of a waste of your time. But, wait, hold on. My phone's not turning off. But what the fuck was I talking about? Tim Collishaw on Around the Horn said...
Hold on, I like Pardon the Interruption, too. I like it.
Yeah.
Pardon the Interruptions. I watch that from time to time. That show's also a lot of fun. Their gimmick, they know how to make entertaining television. It's just true. But
I like Collishaw more. I mean, not Collishaw. I like Kornheiser more than Wilbon, though.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
Wilbon's
a fool.
When he's on the show, I don't watch it.
And basically, Tim Collishaw on Around the Horn said that how could Jerry Jones look at everything that was wrong with the Dallas Cowboys and think, Rob Ryan, he's the problem. Like, and people don't realize how injured this Cowboys team was. This Cowboys team had so many injuries, and the only depth they had on any part of that team was Josh Brent, who, as you all know, linebacker or lineman, I forget, he was one of the men in their front seven that went to jail for the manslaughter of Jerry Brown. That was the only good second stringer they had on that entire defense, and he's in jail. And that team was full of injuries. And Rob Ryan still had a decent performance minus that last game. So I don't understand how you could think that he was the one that fucked up your team. That I thought was total bullshit. But anyways, Markeem, you're absolute. I'm pretty sure this will be your last rant, at least for the near future, because what else could he possibly do in these next 6 months to piss you off?
I don't know.
Lane Kiffin.
Man, I just want to start this off. It's not even be a rant. I'm being calm because there's no point in yelling, screaming anymore because this man fails at life. Shout out to Miguel on Twitter because he showed me a story yesterday that was hilarious to me. It made my day because I was having a pretty shitty day. But whenever Lane Kiffin does something horrible, I love laughing at him. It's just funny. He's funnier than Louis C.K. and Kevin Hart combined. That's the funniest man in America. He did he got a recruit to legit say, "I'm not coming here because you suck." That's basically what happened. Yeah, when has that ever happened in history? Like a recruit rescinded his scholarship because he came to his senses and realized Lane Kiffin is garbage. I can't make this shit up. Like legit, I'm not making this up. Y'all get up.
I read that article though. That was he left because they promised him a scholarship and they revoked it.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah. And then
they didn't revoke it. He was supposed to start in the spring, and instead they said we pushed you back to the fall. And what happened was he's like, well, what am I supposed to do for 5 months? Of course I'm going to go somewhere else. Like.
Yeah. And then Lane Kiffin, like he was on ESPN, you there talking about it. They were saying how Lane Kiffin has made a lot of promises to recruits, came and sat in people's living rooms and just hasn't never. Like he told He told Robert Woods. Guy that just declared the NFL draft. He said, "I'm out. Peace out. Y'all ain't gonna see me my senior year." He told him that the ball would come your way a lot more this season, and you will return every single kick and punt for us. And that did not happen. He snake, a con artist, and just everything, every horrible superlative about him when I could throw out there goes to Lane Kiffin. Here's another thing. They lose, and they get embarrassed by Georgia Tech in the Sun Bowl. Everyone thought, everyone had their laugh. But some of the underclassmen, who I do applaud, they questioned Matt Barkley's leadership because they felt like they needed Matt Barkley to win that game. So the underclassmen, they haven't revealed his name, pretty much called out Matt Barkley. And one of the older upperclassmen came to Matt Barkley's defense. Fisticuff weren't exchanged, and Lane Kiffin was nowhere to be found. Lane Kiffin, Robert Woods has talked about this. He talked about this on College Football Live today. I gotta find a clip. I'll find the clip and somehow get it there. But he talked about this today on College Football Live. He pretty much confirmed it, even though a lot of other players are coming out denying it. Robert Woods confirmed it. He said yes, it happened. He didn't give out names and things like that. He was like, Coach Kiffin wasn't in the locker room, and really didn't have much to say about it. And he's just kind of been pretty much Robert Woods, since he has left, has been throwing this dude under the bus. Like pretty much saying everything we already thought, that he doesn't do anything. He is there solely for himself. This man is an assistant. He is an assistant that cannot lead men. He is in a position that like it would be honestly, it would be like if we had a very good treasurer that was the president of the United States. That's legit what's going on at USC right now. Like the treasurer is good with money, but is he truly elite? You know what I mean? That like legit. Lane Kiffin is an offensive genius. And not too shabby on defense too. Offensive genius. He's a coordinator. Good X's and O's. Not a good coach. Not a good coach at all. This needs to end. Hopefully, I will never have anything else to ever say about Lane Kiffin. But my God, how much worse can it get? This is one of the most prestigious. This is turning into a rant. Fuck it. This is one of the most prestigious programs in all of college sports. USC football. That O.J. Simpson, Marcus Allen, Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart. The list goes on and on.
Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush. You know what I mean? Reggie Bush. Mike Williams. Keyshawn Johnson. Fucking Clay Matthews. I could do this all day. I could literally.
You couldn't do it as long as you could with the University of Miami.
But you know, shut the fuck up. But I could do this all day, and they are now a laughing stock. And Pete Carroll, minus the sanctions. I know the sanctions were a big deal, but minus the sanctions though, Pete Carroll left he left USC on such a high note. They were so prominent nationally that they got sanctions, but they should have been able to instantly recover from what was going on. And that has not been the case because of this man. Look at Ohio State. Ohio State, they couldn't play for anything this year. Urban Meyer led them to an undefeated record. I'm not saying Lane Kiffin was supposed to be Urban Meyer, but dear God, they're supposed to be better than this. Dear Lord. Like, they are the main school in California, the second best school in terms of college recruits, and they're this bad. It's so disheartening. It really is. I love college football. And college football is so much better when USC is good, and they just aren't. And it hurts. It just hurts. That's why I'm so passionate, because college, everything. There's three schools that everything is more relevant and interesting when they're good. Y'all know the three schools?
University of Miami.
No, never mind.
Wait.
Phil, do you know the three schools?
Ohio State.
No.
Really?
Notre Dame. Alabama. USC. Because they are the most polarizing schools there. You know what I mean? USC is Los Angeles' football team. I mean, UCLA and USC are Los Angeles because they don't have a football team. You know what I mean? You don't have an NFL team. Notre Dame is like the New York Yankees of college football. Alabama, same deal. You know what I mean? I say Miami's kind of in there too, but not to that extent. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Lane Kiffin is in a position to where he has the keys to one of the most important schools in college football. And there's just a laughing stock. And it almost makes me want to cry. I'm not going to get emotional, though, but that's why I get so frustrated and angry when it comes to this, man. Because I don't even go this hard on Michael Vick. Y'all see that, right? Like, because I've been saying for years, Michael Vick's not that great of a quarterback. USC is that great of a program. And Lane Kiffin is that horrible. It just hurts. Let's just move on. It just hurts.
All right. And you're even saying that Michael Vick next year with Chip Kelly's system might even help the Eagles.
Yeah, he might even help the Eagles, man. Lane Kiffin, everything is laid out. Everything is like legit. Everything that's like it's like Pete Carroll set it up to where that was the best job in the country. They were so like people don't realize that like the only like Nick Saban has had a high level of dominance in the past like 10 years. But Pete Carroll's like right there with him. I would say Pete Carroll's like a little step below him. And Lane Kiffin he took over. He took over for one of the, you know what I mean? For he, like, real shit. When it comes to rebuilding a program, nobody ever had did a better job than Lane Kiffin. Whoa. Than Pete Carroll. And Pete Carroll had that university in a position to where whoever comes in here should be able to at least do an admirable job. And Lane Kiffin has been like just. Let's just move on.
Let's move on. Now we go to obviously the main event, the two big games of the week. Pretty much, the second and third biggest games of the football season. Maybe third and fourth if you think the BCS title game's bigger than both these two games. It depends, but without a question, these are, we're very nearly approaching the biggest event in this country. I mean, that's the most watched thing in this country every year. It's the most attended thing in this country every year. Aside from a presidential inauguration, which actually
shit with like politics. Aside from that,
aside from politics, this is like the biggest thing in America, and we're getting very close to it. Everybody wants to play in it, but only two teams can. Let's go. Let's start off with the 3:00 game on Fox at San Francisco 49ers at the Atlanta Falcons. Phil, who do you have in this game and why?
Okay.
Wait, time out. I should also point out that last week our playoff picks, myself and Markeem both finished at 1-3, and Phil I believe finished at 2-2. Phil getting right. Oh no, Phil, you also picked the Packers.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, fuck you. No, actually, well, you are 2-2. You had the Falcons.
Yeah,
2-2 because the Falcons and the
Yeah, I forgot. You were the only one that had the Falcons. Okay. You finished 2-2. Markeem, you finished 1-3, only getting the Patriots correct. And I finished 1-3, only getting the Niners correct. In hindsight, how the fuck were the Niners not a unanimous favorite? I forget why, but whatever. So I'm currently 4-4. Markeem is currently 3 and 5. And Phil with his 2-2 is currently 5-3. So Phil's in first, I'm in second, Markeem's in third, and we still have 3 games left. So Phil, go for it. Falcons, Niners.
Well, we talked a little bit about, what the first, getting over the quote unquote hump for Atlanta would do. And we talked about earlier, I talked about earlier how I thought Abraham is going to be huge in this game. If he does not play in this game, man, I don't know. I think we've done, it's happened a couple times in the year. But this is one of those games where, and I know that, I actually thought the Texans were going to win, but I'm saying, like, you went with your original pick. And that's the only thing I'm doing here. I really have no, I wouldn't say I have no faith in the Falcons. I think that this is their time. I mean, I agree with what you, Big Rat was saying earlier. I think this is what, if they need to win this game to ultimately prove that they've changed. And, they can't blow a 20-something lead, and I don't think they're going to get that lead, first of all. But, my football mind says Niners. But, I mean, I'll just be real. My football mind says the Niners are going to win this game. But I'm gonna stick with it with my original pick, and that Atlanta goes to the Super Bowl. So I'm gonna pick Atlanta, and I'm hoping that I'm just my football mind is wrong on this one.
Don't get it twisted. If the Texans won and played the Broncos, I would have still chosen the Texans, but
Right.
I would not have believed. Like, even if they played the Ravens, I would not have believed they were going to win. But, you stick with your pick because you want to be able to say you called the Super Bowl correctly because you don't want to be a back-out pussy like the other guy in this
like me.
So, So, I mean, but the keys to this game, Atlanta has to stop the run like they did against Seattle, but I don't think.
Well, not
really
Frank Gore. Not Frank Gore. Kaepernick.
Well, yeah, they have.
That's the threat.
The big key is, how not having. I hate to say it, one player, but we saw the difference in the first half and the second half with Abraham and not getting. I even tweeted this during the game. Russell Wilson had all day to throw, all day. And the guy's, he's talented. So if you give him time, he's gonna find something. And Kaepernick, you give him time, he's gonna be like, okay, I'm leaving the pocket. So, and he can throw it too. So we'll see. I think Atlanta, this is huge for them. I don't think I'll be honest. If Atlanta passes this game, I can see a big line relative to the Ravens or the Patriots win. I don't think Atlanta's even favored at all. There's no outcome where the Atlanta gets favored in the Super Bowl. Even
though they'd be the number one seed, I would agree
right.
with you.
I don't think they're going to get. Even if they beat the Niners, of course it depends on how they beat the Niners, but still, unless they completely beat them 40-10, which isn't happening. That's the only way I could see them getting a little bit more love in the Super Bowl. They're still not going to get any love. So, but I got Atlanta. We'll see what happens. I think this game will be closer than people think because I think a lot of people are just completely once again writing off the Falcons where we see that bit them in the butt last week. So we'll see, and I hope the Falcons win. Let's put it that way.
Markeem?
I'm tempted just to take it, to say, let's enjoy these two games this weekend.
Right.
No. This is you being a pussy and not wanting to pick the Niners after you completely ripped them off 3 weeks ago. Be a man. Be a man. Be a man.
Shut your bitch ass up. No, just shut up. You know what though? I'm going to pick the Niners, but just because that game last week, man, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. Like the Falcons, legit, they were trying to give Seattle the game. Seattle just couldn't take it. Like it's like you're trying to give somebody.
They took it, but Atlanta just took it back because Carroll screwed up.
Right.
Yeah, they were Indian givers. Like they gave him the gift, and it was like, hold on, we got the wrong color. That's what happened. Like they gave him a sweater, and it was like, oh, it's the wrong color sweater. Let's get a new one. And then before they could go get a new one, the person went home. So that's what happened. But yeah, like. But yeah, I like Kaepernick's. I don't see how. Like you saw Russell Wilson did it, man. I think Kaepernick. It could be worse. I'm a better passer than Russell Wilson. That much is obvious. But I think he's gonna be able to run on them pretty simple. Oh man, like that.
And I just don't see Kaepernick getting intimidated by Atlanta, or like the atmosphere of Atlanta. They're loud, but I just don't see it as one of those type of play,
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, for the greatest Kaepernick played, he was a candlestick. They don't make it hard on him this weekend, man. The Dome is loud. The Georgia Dome is loud, so it's gonna be hard on him. But I still think that he's off balance enough so that that they'll win. I think he's honestly too much. I think Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, and them boys, they're going to get theirs. Do not expect not Frank Gore. Do not expect Michael Turner to be what he was last week. That shit is not happening.
Yeah.
I can promise you that. But, I think I got 49ers. Close, though. Close.
I've been wavering back and forth on this one all week for many reasons, for many stats, and I've been really, really conflicted. I did say that once the Falcons broke that hump, they'd be able to get to the Super Bowl. And I did say the winner of last week's game would go to the Super Bowl. And I didn't want to go back on that. But the way they won, even though the first 20 minutes were so convincing, the way they won, I'm just not sure. But, at the same time, here's a tweet from Omar Kelly that I told Markeem before the show went on the air, before you were here, Phil. The Falcons' defensive coordinator is a man by the name of Michael Nolan. Mike Nolan, former coach for the 49ers. He was the dude that always wore a suit, to every game, which I actually thought was really entertaining. That was kind of entertaining. He was the Dolphins defensive coordinator for 2 years, in 2010, 2011. And being a fan at that time, I knew this from the start. But Omar Kelly said this right after the Falcons won. And it's just very true. Trust me, Falcons fans. There are 2 things that eat Mike Nolan's defenses alive. 1, mobile quarterbacks. 2, athletic tight ends. It's over. And I can tell you very well, the Dolphins could not cover a tight end to save their goddamn lives. That's why teams with high-powered tight ends like Jimmy Graham's and, the Dallas Clarks,
and Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis. These motherfuckers burned us all the time. Markeem, what did you refer to Vernon Davis as at the beginning of when I first got on Skype with you? What'd you call him again?
What, a wide receiver in a tight end's body?
No, you said something comparing him all time.
With Vernon Davis?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, what I say?
Didn't you say he was one of the greatest ever?
No. I was talking about Tony Gonzalez.
Oh,
Tony Gonzalez is the greatest ever.
No.
That's what I said.
Today's day and age, you have Vernon Davis, what, 2 or 3?
Oh yeah, and you're saying in terms of tight ends? Yeah, I got Vernon Davis 3.
Okay. Vernon Davis is going to rip this defense alive. And because Vernon Davis on his own has a natural knack for getting open. And when you're especially concerned with a mobile quarterback, that leaves the tight ends wide out there to just come in and do well. Like, I'll never forget, it was the Eagles game where we were playing the Eagles and Mike Vick was the quarterback. And we were so petrified because Mike Vick burned us the first half. And we were so petrified that he was going to kill us that we positioned our defense in a way that Brent Selleck was open on every play. Like, every play, Brent Selleck was open. We just couldn't cover him. And I really do think that this is going to be a deadly combination. And Crabtree in his own right. And let's not forget God's gift to pro football, Randy Moss.
There you go. 4'2" in his prime, 4'2", 40, 6'4", 220 pounds of sheer just awesomeness.
Marquinhos
44-inch vertical. I forgot about that.
Not only are the Falcons have like the 29th rush defense or something like that, they average the most yards allowed to the quarterback. And they've never played Kaepernick. I mean, have they? No, and they haven't played Kaepernick all season. So, but at the same time, do you guys remember that stat about DVOA and the Seattle Seahawks that I told you guys?
Right.
That the Seattle Seahawks were the number 1 DVOA team. Basically, I don't want to explain it for those who haven't heard me say it before. It's basically the most efficient team in the NFL that makes the most out of every yard, the most balanced team. And 70% of the time, that team goes to the Super Bowl. But when the number 1 most efficient team in football, according to FootballOutsiders.com, does not win the division, then this is what happens. Because it's only happened twice. There have only been 2 teams in history that have been the most efficient team in football but didn't win the division. It's the 08 Eagles and the 09 Ravens. And both of them won their first games, and they lost the very next round to the eventual team that went to the Super Bowl. The Ravens beat the Patriots and then lost to the Colts, who went to the 09 Super Bowl. And the Eagles beat a few teams, actually, and then lost to the Cardinals, who went to the Super Bowl that year. So according to that stat, even though it's only happened twice, if that stat is true, the Seahawks, who were the number 1 DVOA team, it would mean they would have to win a playoff game and then lose to whoever would go to the Super Bowl that year. It's only happened twice, so it's not a lock. But if that stat remains true, that would say the Falcons win this game. But at the end of the day, I've been so conflicted. Like, I just really can't decide. But at the end of the day, I just go back to Matt Ryan. Like, I really do think that he just has such a long track record of failing. And if Romo could have his moment under the sun and it completely not affect his clutch ability to win in the playoffs or win in Week 17 the rest of his career, then I'm not convinced that Matt Ryan can either. If Matt Ryan wins this game, I'll think differently. But because I'm so torn up about it, and I hate to sound like a hypocrite going against my original pick, I gotta go against Matt Ryan here, even though I don't want to. So me and Markeem have the Niners, Phil has the Falcons. The next game, I'll go first. I'll be very quick because apparently my prediction is automatically decided right away, and I want to tell you guys this. Let me be honest with you. Can I be honest with you? And I know you guys will not believe me. if the Patriots were to play any other team besides the Ravens, I was going to pick them this week. Yes, I was going to pick them against the Broncos. I really was.
I don't believe that.
I know you guys don't believe me.
it.
No, I know you guys don't believe me. Because let me tell you why. I didn't say it on this show. Because I said the Broncos were the best team in football. I'll tell you when it was. It was midway through the third quarter of the Broncos game against the Ravens, where I really, really thought, God damn, man, if this secondary collapses this much to Flacco, I think
what Brady's gonna do.
Right.
I know you guys don't believe me, and that's fine. You don't have to believe me. But I'll tell you this. If the Patriots win this game, I'm picking them to win the Super Bowl. So even though you guys think, and it's true most of the time, that I always go against the Patriots, at the end of the day, I really, really, really do think that they have a tremendous team this year, but it's the Ravens. The Ravens and the Giants. If you bet against Tom Brady, against any team in the NFL these days, it's when he's playing Eli and it's when he's playing Flacco. Because Flacco, and I know, like, Flacco doesn't play Brady one-on-one, but Flacco does outperform Brady every time they play. And the Ravens, I mean, they beat them in 2009 in Foxborough. A lot of
people think they should have won last year.
A lot of people think they should have won last year. They beat them earlier this season. Like, you know, the 2007 season, everyone thought they should have beaten them that year too. I attribute that one more to bad coaching than anything. But, like, you know, this team...
Oh, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Like, this team plays really well against Brady. Chad Henne plays very well against the Patriots. It's just, that's how he is. Whenever we played him with the Dolphins, Chad Henne played well against them. And then look at the Jacksonville game against the Patriots this year. Chad Henne plays well against the Patriots.
Chad Henne like Aaron Rodgers that game.
Some quarterbacks just know how to play against the Patriots. And Flacco was one of those quarterbacks. Mark Sanchez, he may have had a terrible outing on Thanksgiving, but that first game, as much as I hate the man, he played just as well as Brady did. Like,
yeah, remember 2 years ago, Phil?
Yeah.
Or 3 years ago, Phil? Remember that?
In the playoffs?
The 09? Yeah,
remember Sanchez 3 years ago?
Oh, Sanchez. Oh, yeah, God.
Like, Schaub, for example, does not play well against the Patriots. Like, I think
That's an understatement.
Flacco, Sanchez, Chad Henne, and maybe, I guess, and Eli Manning. Half the time, Peyton Manning. Some quarterbacks just play really well against the Ravens. And when everyone's saying, oh, Flacco, I don't trust Flacco to outperform Brady, motherfucker, he's done it like the past 4 times they've played. Like,
I was actually going to say that. Jim.
And legitimately, and Phil's going to hate me for this, but every season you can just tell who's playing the best football. Last season, it was obviously the Giants. The year before, it was obviously the Packers. The year before, it was obviously the Saints. The Steelers, I thought it was kind of the Cardinals, but the Steelers were also playing really well the year before that. Because, you know, the Cardinals were just looking really impressive every week. The Steelers, like, were barely beating teams. But they got better coaches and shit like that. And in 2007, it was obviously the Patriots. But recently, the past... most of the time... But most
I'm sorry, Phil.
But most of the time, especially the past 3 years, you can just tell who's playing the best football. And if it's not the Ravens, it's the Niners. Because the Ravens, throughout this whole playoffs, have just been looking really impressive. I mean, they just offensively...
I don't know. Not that first round game.
All right, fine.
I guess,
Offensively. I mean, but I'm taking into account, like, you know, look at that Giants game 2 weeks before the playoffs. Like, you know, and I know the Giants didn't care and whatnot. But offensively, this actually looks like a powerful team with weapons. Like Torrey Smith, Dennis Pitta, Anquan Bolden. These guys are weapons. These guys perform in such a way that not every defense can be prepared for that. And you can throw it to any one of them. And you can trust them. Like, you know, and the Patriots are like that too. Don't get me wrong. But I really, really do think that, and on the defensive side, you guys know that Ray Lewis, this playoffs, has 30 tackles in 2 games.
Yeah, I know. He's been a monster.
30 tackles in 2 games. You got T. Sizzle.
He may even be playing better than he did in 2000.
Like, he's playing...
And that's crazy. That's crazy. That's like blasphemy.
No, but hey, you have T. Sizzle playing great. The cornerback, Garrett Graham, it's one of those two. I think it's Garrett Graham. 2 He got both of those Peyton Manning interceptions. First one wasn't Peyton's fault, but nonetheless, he got both those interceptions that last game. And Ed Reed, you may have not been hearing his names a lot, but as they said leading up to the Colts game, they said if Andrew Luck wants to win this game, Andrew Luck has to completely avoid Ed Reed, and that's when he'll have his best chance. So maybe it's a good thing that we haven't been hearing his name. But I mean, the Ravens, they play really, really well against the Patriots, and offensively. And Markeem, you can't even disagree with this. Offensively, this is the best they've looked in a long time.
Oh, I agree.
And
I agree with that too.
When we first started doing this show, what did I say about Joe Flacco? I was like, this is the year he's going to turn it all around. Maybe it took him forever to do it. Maybe it just took the playoff.
No, it's definitely true. And like I said, it's just I see so many. This team just really looks like they're the best team in football right now. The way they've been playing, like the Giants did last year, and it was obvious. Once the Giants beat the Falcons, I said, "Oh shit, this team's beating Green Bay." Like I don't know
if it was that obvious.
For me, for me,
maybe
like
for you,
Giants last year.
For me, I didn't have any second thoughts.
I said coming into that game. Remember, kid, I said I was like, because I was on the Packers all year. You know that. And then, because remember, I said there's almost no chance anybody beats them. Remember that, kid?
Yep.
And I was like, if the Packers win this game, they're going to kill everybody on the way to the Super Bowl. If the Giants win this game, they're going to win it all. Remember I said that?
Yep, I do. And I really do think with the Ravens, not just because of the Ray Lewis story, and I get it. Like, it's very emotional. They want to win for him. I understand. But it just really does feel like they're the best team in football right now. And if the Patriots can beat that, then they're the best team in football right now. So I know you guys may think I'm biased, but I really am trying to convince you guys that the Ravens could be. How about this? If the Ravens,
I have two people with an obvious bias on this shit, man. I'm gonna go last.
Phil, explain your Patriots pick.
Well, what now?
Explain your Patriots pick.
In this game?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So all right. Obviously, they just went through hell basically in that last game. I mean, that's a rough game to come off of. I mean, that's one thing you got to look at too. That defense at the end was tired. That Ravens defense was tired.
Very true.
Tired. Now, am I saying that they can't regroup? I'm not saying that they're not going to regroup. Obviously, this is Ray Lewis and this is T Sizzle or whatever you call him. I mean, these guys are going to be ready. But at the same time, will they be able to stay? Will they be able to stay ready? Will they get more tired? Because I think that Belichick is going to toss that quick no huddle gimmick like that.
There you go, Phil.
Gimmick like that guy wants to call. Shut up. Do they do? You know how many teams do no huddle? So shut up. No name special teamer.
The Broncos did it against the Ravens.
Exactly. He's some no name that decides to talk so he can get publicity.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you hear what Stephen A. said? I think it was today or yesterday on the YouTube on First Take. He was like, "Hey, guess what, dude? You have 2 tackles the past 2 games. Shut up."
Right. he was gonna.
What, dude? I don't give a fuck, man. Stephen A. is the man. I don't care what nobody says.
He was gonna go off on him. The one I saw, he was gonna go off on him. But he didn't because the guy apologized. I was like, bullcrap, Stephen A., go off on him. I wanted to hear. But anyways, so I guess he said that later, or maybe that was the same show he said that. I don't know. But I mean, I do think this is. I look at this, in the same, kind of how the Texans game went. I think that it's going to come. I think the Patriots are going to make sure that they're going to put the game in the hands of Flacco. That's why I think this game is going to be close because I think Flacco is a whole lot better than Schaub. So I think, and like you said, he had. I mean,
at least when it matters. At least when it matters.
Right. So Flacco is gonna, be able to. Let me put it this way: be able to, hang toe to toe. Even though they don't play against each other on the same time at the same field, is gonna, go toe to toe with Brady. I mean, he's proved that he has outplayed Brady, in Game 4. So I mean, I think that, that the Ravens are gonna keep it close, and it's gonna be. I just think that. At some point, Belichick's going to hit that on switch and be like, look, and they're going to start exposing the fact that they're tired and stuff like that. And I think that's what I look at when I look at it. I think that the run game's better. I mean, a lot of people point to the Gronk injury being big. Gronk hasn't had crazy games against the Ravens. I mean,
they're
a factor.
Gronk been hurt most of the year, anyways.
Right.
So.
Yeah, they're 4-1 without Gronk.
Right, and you're talking about this is a team that people don't want to point this out about. Everybody that wants to say, well, without Gronk, they're gonna hurt. This is a team that that was planning to use him the whole game lost him in the one of the very first plays, and it didn't skip a beat. So can't really say, I mean, I know it's a different team, and I think the big key is Wes Welker. Can the Ravens stop Wes Welker?
I think that is the key. To me, that. Go ahead, Phil.
Right. And the problem is they haven't. They rarely stop him. Last year they did hold. I'm looking at it right now. They did hold him to 6 catches, 53 yards. Gronkowski actually
That's
led
stopping him. That's stopping him.
But that's pretty good. I mean,
Gronkowski lit them up?
No, Gronkowski had 87 yards. He led, but he only had 5 receptions. But,
yeah, he wasn't he hurt like in the third quarter?
Yeah, he got hurt. Yeah, that's because he was averaging 7.
So that could have been worse.
Right. So it could have been worse. So maybe that was probably a better game. But this year, early in the year, Gronkowski didn't do a whole lot. But Wes Welker had amazing game earlier in the year.
I remember he was on my fantasy team.
And so did Brandon Lloyd.
By the way, if the Patriots do win a Super Bowl, I would be so happy for Wes Welker because as much as I hate the Patriots, that motherfucker has helped me out in fantasy football, and he's a former Finn. Respect.
That's one of my favorite players, son. Period. Love that little white dude.
What college did he go to, by the way? I've seen
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. That's right. Okay, but and I really want this for Welker's sake, because I would love for him to catch a big pass in the Super Bowl. So I would hope win this game and go on and help us win the Super Bowl would be awesome for him. Just so those idiots that say that it was his fault can just shut up. But
if you think that, you realize that you wouldn't be there without that dude, probably. Good chance.
Right. It's one of those, I hate to call him out again, but it's one of those trade reactions. Like, oh, Welker, you suck. Why did you drop that pass?
You get on my nerves with that shit.
Dude,
Want to kill Alex Rodriguez, but y'all last World Series title was because of Alex Rodriguez. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Go ahead, Phil.
Dumb Mark 629.
But I think when it comes down to it, I think when the Ravens played the Broncos, it was Peyton Manning getting things done. I think in this game they have a lot of people to stop, even with out. I mean, you have to worry about. I mean, Wood has to be healthy. As far as running backs, Woodhead, Stephen Ridley, Green, Dane Woodhead, all those guys are going to be used. I mean, you saw last week, which I'm not can happen again this week, but Brady threw a wide receiver threw it like he was going to a wide receiver to Shane Vereen. So I mean, maybe he can be used that way too. So that'd be awesome. But I just think that the Patriots get it done this week. I mean, obviously, I know who cares what he thinks, but I mean, I honestly have given reasons why I think the Patriots are going to win. I think that it's going to be too much for them, for the Ravens defense. I think the defense is going to eventually get tired. I think it's just going to catch up to them, and we're not going to be stupid if we have 30 seconds.
Yes.
We're not going to need it. How Belichick of anybody will gamble. I mean, look at the game that everybody talks about, that because it didn't work out. But I'm just saying, I just think that, and I think here's the key. I think that the Ravens have to know that. I mean, if the Ravens are smart and they don't just start I think they'll hopefully be smart if they watch any of the Texans Patriots footage. But don't run up the middle. It's just not going to work. Yeah. I mean, we're getting really, our run defense is getting really good.
Wolford controls the line of scrimmage. You got to go away from that.
I mean, and Ray Rice,
wherever he is.
I think the key for the Ravens, if they want to win, I think they really have to throw to Ray Rice. Honestly, I think we struggled a little bit against Foster when he was thrown to on the side and everything. I don't know what that's official or whatever. Oh. But but I think that's something they have to do, and I think they have to get him involved. And I think it's when it boils down to it, it's going to come down to Flacco. I think Flacco's going to lose again for him, but I do think it comes down to can Flacco do better than what Sean did, and I think it'll be close. But I think we pull it out. Hopefully, it doesn't come. But another thing I want to say: all Ravens games except for the blowout are
come down to something.
Controversial because if you don't remember early in the year, there was a pass interference call that the Falcons a first down and the first and goal. So I mean, not that it wasn't pass interference. I'm just saying.
And remember that field goal. Some people still think it's no good.
Right? Yeah. Some people still think it was no good. I don't really. That's in the past now. But
that's just factually wrong. I'm sorry. You can't. This is not discussable. There's the film. It's good. No more. I don't understand. Why Skip Bayless, fucking asshole.
It's like baseball. If the ball goes over the foul pole, it's a home run.
Right. Well, I know. That's what I said. I'll put it in the pat. I mean, the field goal was good. Whatever. It just because of the replacement rest that made it look everybody made a big deal out of it. I was like, it was good. We lost. Let's move on.
We'll move on to the fact that Ed Dixon and John Tucker have been playing a lot better than Lee Evans and Billy Cundiff.
But people talk about Lee Evans play too, but the defender made a play on that play as well.
No, that was a play. That was a play. Good play.
So it's going to come down on the Patriots side. I think it really does come down to how our cornerbacks play and how, Q Talib has been good at times. He does give up some plays here and there, but he's been a huge help for us. So
he was dynamite last week.
Yeah, I think he's really good. He gives Andre Johnson some things, but he doesn't give up the big plays. If he can, I don't know if he'll be on Torrey Smith or not, but hopefully if they put him on Torrey, they can hold him, to the small stuff and not get beat deep. If you can say whatever you want about the Patriots defense, but very rarely do they get beat deep.
Never. No, like I said, Bill Belichick, under Belichick's watch, the main essentials to win football games: you turn over the ball, you don't turn over the ball, you create turnovers, stop them in the red zone, big plays. Like Belichick, that's why he's the best, man. He's the best coach in the NFL right now, and that's not debatable. Actually, no. My apologies, Markeem. That is debatable with only one other man, and.
That's right, motherfucker.
Hey, Harbaugh's 1-0 against him, so Harbaugh's 1-0 against Belichick, so.
That's right. And I want to go with what Big Rat said about the turnover, and that big thing too. If we turn the ball over like we did against the Niners 4 times, we ain't beat the Ravens. I mean, just that simple. We turn over 4 times, and the Ravens don't turn over 5 times, but it's not going to happen. So turnovers is crucial too, because in close games, turnover come. That's when a turnover comes around, I mean, it changes a lot. So, we'll see what happens. And of course, I've got my Patriots, but I want to, I don't want to even come on this podcast if we lose, just because I can't. I want a Super Bowl win so bad, man, so bad. You guys don't even.
Yeah. I've been wanting a Super Bowl win ever since I was 2 years old.
We don't know.
No,
you got fucking 3.
That's not
you
what I
ungrateful prick. 3 and 5 Super Bowl appearances.
That's not what I meant, you ungrateful prick. That's not what I was saying when I said that.
I was really about to cut you out. What do you mean? We don't.
No, I don't mean. Never mind. Y'all don't know how much bad I want one. Not like as far as like.
All right.
Hey,
now obviously y'all wait.
Yeah,
no, I'm not that.
But Phil, I'm not gonna lie to you. The year that Brady leaves, I will be rooting for the Patriots to win at least one more. Just so
I know you will.
Just so it can prove. But whatever.
It won't hurt Brady's legacy, so you can keep. So I don't care.
Once Belichick wins one without him, people are not going to start to think that Belichick was the architect behind the whole thing and not Brady.
No.
All right. But I do want to say this, Phil. Just because I'm biased and you're biased, that doesn't mean that we can't pick the team and actually give a thoughtful opinion. Like these days, like it's whenever I pick against the Patriots and you pick the Patriots, it's automatically, well, of course they do that. They're biased. It doesn't matter if we actually have valid reasons for it.
Right, we both made very good points on both.
Like whenever I pick the Patriots, I have my reasons. And when I pick against the Patriots, it's like every single time I pick against them is bias. Like, it's not just because I might actually think they're going to lose.
Well, kid, can you admit 70% of the time it's biased?
50. Because let me see, Phil, but Markeem, like I've told you, the games we've picked with the Patriots, I think we picked the Broncos game, the Colts, the Ravens, the Seahawks, and the Niners. Okay? The Seahawks and Ravens, I was right. The Broncos and Colts, I kind of misunderestimated. Well, the Colts, I didn't have enough information to know how weak that defense was and how bad that team was, as me and you both now know very well. And I believe you picked the Colts and the Broncos. So the only one, and the Niners, I picked the Patriots. Like, and I guess the Texans game as well. But
keep in mind, y'all both picked the Colts to beat the Ravens too. Keep that in mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
we highly over. No, we realize that our Andrew Luck love actually needs to be higher. We are underappreciating him.
Especially after that Ravens game. My God, man.
But Markeem, you're the tiebreaker. Ravens at Pats. Who wins?
As I said in the last prediction, I was tempted to just go 0-2 and be like, let's just enjoy these games.
But
I was on the fence. This is the one, like the Niners game. I wasn't really on the fence. I was leaning towards the Niners, especially how the Falcons sweet. But if anything, it was Ray Rice that actually made me lean towards the Ravens. Let me tell y'all why. Because I was watching the press conferences before the game, and you could just see it. Like, I know emotion. Emotion is a big deal in football. I just brought up that story about us being down by 5 points, and he, like, you can tell just by his whole body language and everything. He was like, we love Chuck Pagano, coach. He's a good dude. I met him a few times, but he'll be back next season. It was like, what did he say? He said, he sucks. He's fighting through injury, but he'll be back at 100% next season. He was like, Coach Harbaugh. No matter what happens, he'll be back next season. 52 will not. He was like, and what we're doing for 52 is not laying down. No matter what happens, they will have to kill us in order to beat us. He was like, they will have to break our will in order to beat us. And you will not break the will that we have. And he straight up said that we are on emotional and rhythmic train that will not stop. He said that they're in a rhythm now offensively that is unparalleled in Ravens history. And I think that's an unmitigated fact. Like, I've never seen it. Like, since they've been the Baltimore Ravens, they have never played better offense than they have been playing for the past month. Minus the Colts game. Minus the Colts game. That sloppy game. I mean, it both sides of the sloppy game. But minus that game, they have been, like, otherworldly offensively. And I just believe that will be the difference. Like Kid was saying earlier, Joe Flacco, sorry, Phil. Joe Flacco almost always out Tom Brady. That's not saying either. It's just what happens, you know what I mean? Ray Rice is let's talk about running backs. I mean, Ray Rice, Varun, and Woodhead, come on. Like come on. You know what I mean? That's just like, not even fair. Akeem Talib is a monster. I think he's gonna have to cover Torrey Smith. That's just mandatory. There's no doubt about it. He's gonna have to be on Smith. I mean, he's gonna have to do what Champ Bailey was unable to do, and that's be physical with him at the line of scrimmage. And I think Talib can do that because he's younger than Champ and he's big. So I believe he can do that. I think ultimately it's gonna come down to stops. Who have more stops than the other team. And real shit, goal line situations, the Ravens are like, it's like, honestly, they're scary in goal line situations. And I believe it will come down to a few of those. I believe it will be the best game of the playoff season. Yes, I said it. Even better than the Broncos-Ravens game. I really believe this will be the best game. This will be one of the best games of all time. I really believe.
I'm a hard angle. I'll take that.
I believe the stars are aligned for that shit. I mean, everything that's going down, the emotion. Y'all know that the Ravens will have, coupled with the preparation that the Patriots will have. Honestly, let's be real. This is honestly Nigel McGuinness to Timur Shima. Except we'll have a better match from him. You know what I mean? Like, we don't Nigel won the belt. This is legit set up to be that. Shima was bigger and badder. This is what the Patriots are. Nigel was super determined. I mean, like, beyond determined. At least that was the story. That's the last good thing that Gabe Sapolsky ever done. That Nigel is trying to change. but yeah, that was like the storyline. Nigel, even though, physically he can match up to Morishima. And talent-wise, let's be real. Patriots are way more talented than the goddamn Ravens. I mean, let's just be real. On both sides of the ball. Even though I would say the Ravens is better defense, but I would just say that the Patriots are a million times deeper than the Ravens.
Yes.
Ray Lewis
that's definitely true, yeah.
Yeah, Ray Lewis, that's the game. Terrell Suggs gets hurt, that's the game. I mean, Akeem gets hurt, that's not the game. You know what I mean?
Hell, their biggest offensive weapon gets hurt, and it's like, he's got other guys.
Gronkowski's going like, they ain't that big a deal.
Sorry to interrupt. And but did you hear Vince Wilfork after the game when they told him about the Gronkowski injury?
Yeah, I heard it. He's like,
yeah.
Oh man, we don't have him.
They asked him. So Vince, what are your thoughts on the fact that Gronk won't play next week? And he said, "Wait a minute, we don't have him? Oh fuck."
Well, he didn't say that. But,
Essentially, it was like,
Right.
oh shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And I want to.
Yeah, like it's the machine. It's the Patriots machine. I think that every now and again a little rock gets caught in the wheels.
Oh,
And I believe that like a little, in the wheels of the machine. And I believe this year the Ravens will be that, man. They are legit looking like the team I thought they would be all year. Like, they remind me of the Giants last year, for real. This emotional and this crazy ride they've taken us on. I cannot imagine it stops now. They won in Mile High, which is tough to do. I don't see why they cannot do it in Foxborough.
They've won in Foxborough before in the playoffs.
Which reminds me, Marquis, you were on the record last week, or not on the record, but last week you said there's no way the Ravens could
y'all can have
Broncos and the Patriots.
And you said, I'll read it.
Y'all can have balls.
I'll read it exactly. I will put my balls on the line that no team will beat Brady and Manning back to back.
Ooh, you did say that.
Converted. Y'all can have nuts. I'm saying.
I'm going to tweet, I own Marquis nuts.
Me too. I get one.
It's just crazy. Like honestly, did y'all expect? It's not that they had the talent to make the Super Bowl. That's why I picked them before the season. But it's not that they're playing. So it's how they're doing it. I mean, like, they took a young coach team that didn't really know any better, things like that, took a fight right out of them. You know what I mean? Like, especially Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck pretty much gave up at a point. He was like, I can't do this by myself. And he's been doing it by himself all year. He got to the point like, fuck it. I can't do this. You know what I mean? They took the fight right out of him. They went to Mile High where this guy I follow on Twitter, he was like, is anyone giving the Ravens any sort of shot right now? Like before, 5 minutes before the game, he's like, seriously, does anybody think the Ravens going to win? He was like, I don't either. I'm just asking. You know what I mean?
It's different this weekend. I think a lot of people are giving the Ravens a shot.
Okay, but let me say this. Sorry to interrupt. 9.5 point favorites.
That's ridiculous.
I was so mad. I was so mad.
I laughed when I heard that.
That's the type of stuff we be talking about, Phil.
That's the Patriots bias.
That's ridiculous.
Let me tell you this. And
even though I mean, it's not crazy to think the Patriots can win by, but just the line.
It's still
the line is crazy,
right?
And let me say this, Phil. Let me say this. Even though I said the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl, if the Patriots win in similar fashion to how they did last year,
right? I know you
and
won't
Kaepernick. No, I won't. But if they win like they did last year, and Kaepernick puts up 200 rushing yards, 300 passing yards. And even though the Niners beat the Patriots in the regular season, and the Patriots are favored in the Super Bowl, I'm done. I'm sorry. That's absolutely asinine.
I'll be so mad. Oh, my God.
Absolutely asinine.
That happened.
Absolutely asinine to make the Patriots the favorites when the Niners beat them if they win like they did last year. Because that's just bullshit. I was mad when they were the favorites last year.
I
understood because they were the number one seed. But still, these two are both 2, and the Niners beat them. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it.
But I'm saying if they don't win like they did last year, then you're saying you're okay with them.
If they both win at the exact same way, then the Niners should be the favorites.
If they win by 3, and the Patriots have to fight like they had to with the Ravens last year, and let's say the Niners win by 3. You know what I mean? It's a close game. The Niners should be the favorites. You know what I mean? Because they beat them.
That's true. I agree. No, I agree.
Unless the Patriots...
But you know what, though?
But they won't be. I can go ahead and tell you they won't be. Yeah, I already know they won't be. But that's just because people will look at, the 4 turnovers.
Brady and Belichick. That's all you need to win a fucking Super Bowl.
That's all you need. Remember that show Stephen A. Smith had? Quite frankly, I used to hate that damn commercial. He was like, well, all this stuff is going on, but 3 Super Bowls. Brady and Belichick, and quite frankly, that's all you need. I was like, no, that's not all you need, nigga. Jesus, look at all the other ways they had to win. How about Teddy Bruschi, Willie McGinnis? Stop it. Every time that commercial came, I used to yell at the screen, no, that's not all you need. but yeah, you remember that commercial, right, kids?
Yes, I do.
I remember it too.
I used to hate that damn commercial. I used to hate that show too, minus the Allen Iverson episode. That was awesome. But anyway, I just think the Ravens are focused, and I believe that something special is happening. And I believe when Ray Lewis gets in the Super Bowl, he will like that will be like a Herculean type performance that he puts on.
By the
Like,
way, Markeem, I'm going to go back on something too. If I'm not saying if, I'm saying this is a small if, but if the Ravens win, I know I said I wouldn't root for the AFC, but I can't help but root for Ray Lewis if they win. Like
this is special. This is a different
special.
circumstance.
I'll be rooting for the Ravens if they beat us.
Actually, I don't care either way because if the Niners win, Randy Moss gets his ring, and if the Ravens win,
and Jim Harbaugh. Don't forget Jim Harbaugh.
And Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, the media would go nuts over a Harbaugh Super Bowl.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome. Because the sound bites are gonna be so great. I love them both, but Jim's obviously better. But the sound bites gonna be so great in that. I hope that's what I want. I want that. Fuck Brady and Matt Ryan. Fucking bro.
Wow. If the NFL is rigged, it will be 49ers Ravens. And if it's not rigged, then
Patriots Falcons.
Yeah. No, I mean like if the Super Bowl is it's like what I said with the Heat last year. That if the finals was Heat Thunder, then I'm not saying the NBA is rigged, but I won't kill the theory because that was the most marketable matchup they could have done. The most marketable matchup they could do is Niners Ravens. So if it's anything but that, I'll say it forever. Okay, obviously the NFL's not rigged. If it is Niners Ravens, I won't completely rule it out because that was the most marketable game they could have put on.
That's true.
Ravens. Heat Thunder though. You can tell that was it was over in 5 games.
Thunder was not ready for that.
7 if it was.
Let me say. By the way, side note. This is kind of random. The Heat, according to Vegas odds, were favored to win that series 4-0, and I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And they ended up winning 4-1. So. Just saying.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, like no one was expecting. Everyone thought it would be like this really close, and all the games were really close except for the last one. But like if you look at the series score, it wasn't close when every game was really tight. I went to 2 of those games, so I would know. But
Russell Westbrook, game 3, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Jesus.
No, yeah. Fucking
Mario we're talking basketball now.
Yeah. I do want to. I'll talk about that off camera. But anyways. That's it for us. Markeem's got 49ers Ravens. I got 49ers Ravens. Phil's got Patriots Falcons.
I'm the odd man.
Very quickly, do not think about it. You can't think about it at all. Very quickly. Phil, Patriots Falcons Super Bowl. Who wins?
Patriots.
49ers Ravens, Markeem.
Ravens.
Niners. All right. That's it for now. We'll change these picks next week, I presume, depending on the new Super Bowl. And
of course.
We look forward. Thank you all for listening. And we are
Tune into the retirement party.
And enjoy Phil's Patriots wrap-up speech next week. And we're gone. Goodbye.